interest of time, I'll do a brief description of our speaker's profile, and then after that, I'll welcome my Elder Zachary, to officially welcome our speaker. We have been blessed to have Mr. Isha Dunga CPA, and as many of us have been aware throughout the week that we were going to have a speaker for this day, right? Mr. Isha is a corporate trainer, a business and personal finance coach. His specialization is finance management and advisory, personal finance, corporate governance, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Mr. Dunga is the founder and director of Ecovest Consultants Limited, and one of the leading financial consulting firms in Kenya. He also runs a real estate management company known as Ecovest East Africa Property Managers, which deals with the purchasing, selling, and managing of properties in Kenya. Mr. Dunga is also the founder and director of Natal Tech United, a digital lending company that operates in Kenya. Mr. Dunga is the author of 3 titles, namely Personal Financial Management, Secret Wars on the Open Plains, Attracting, Managing, and Multiplying Money. Mr. Dunga is a holder of a master's in Commerce, Finance and Investments from KCA University, a holder of BCom Finance option from the University of Nairobi. He is also a holder of Certified Public Accounts CPA. Mr. Dunga also has an experience in the employment sector, where he worked with the Music Corporate Society of Kenya, Kenya Association of Music Producers, and Performers' Rights Society of Kenya. Mr. Dunga has an extensive experience in training and talk shows that focuses on leadership, corporate management, financial management, culture, and change management. Mr. Dunga has held several talk shows and media interviews with some of the leading media stations in the country, including Citizen TV, KUTV, Ramogi TV, KBC, and their associated radio stations. And Mr. Dunga is aspiring to transform the nation through his contribution to matters financial policy development, leadership, management, and culture management for a better Kenya. He is on a mission to change the mindset of the nation and personal development and self-worth through his motivational talks to young people in universities and churches. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the church, I bring to you Mr. Isha Dunga. But because I have my leader in the department, I would wish to welcome Elder Zachary. In case there is something that I've missed, that I've not captured, Elder will be able to elaborate and then welcome our speaker for the day. May God bless us all as we settle in Jesus' name.
Good morning. Are you happy? I think when you have a visitor, it's always, there's expectation. You're like, you don't know what to expect. At the same time, you're happy. I think that is the feeling I'm having this morning. And thank you, my brother Kendricks, for that elaborate introduction. It's really nothing like, to scare us or something, but I guess it's good to have a profile of who is with us, because he's not one of us here. Brother Isha is a member of Kitengela Central Church. I'm sure when he comes, he'll be able to tell us. He's an Adventist, so he's one of us. So the language that he's going to use is a language that I'm sure is similar or something we can be able to relate. And I want to invite all of us who are here physically, and I'm sure there are quite a number who are following online, that we may be blessed together as we seek to empower each other. And the carryover from yesterday's message is that we need to be able to bring the resources to the house of God. And how can we bring if we don't have? And how can we bring if we don't have the knowledge to be able to multiply what we have to have more to give? And that is the essence of this whole program, to empower us so that we can be able to multiply and minimize or use well what we have, that it may be able to glorify God and may bring more. At this point, allow me to present Brother Isha Dunga to come up front and be able to take us through the presentation. So if you have a question as he's going through the presentation, you note a question somewhere, please write. And the themes that we're going to address is family finance planning, investment tips, and entrepreneurship tips and investments. So he'll talk through the two as we go through along the session, and we request your kind indulgence. May God bless you. Welcome, Brother Isha. Let's say a prayer as he starts. We thank you, dear God, for this morning. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for this far you brought us. May you be with us even as we have this session, Lord, to be able to give or gather knowledge about how to improve our family finances, Lord, how to even do entrepreneurship for those who want to start business, and even how to do investments as you've told us to live as wise people while we are on this earth, dear God. How we pray that as our brother is going to stand here to give presentations and even lead us through this session, may you be with him, may you guide him, and may glory and honor be unto the name. For this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. And I also want to tell you, he came with a few books, a few copies there. So at the end of the session, as it talks through, I'm sure we're going to be blessed. Welcome. Thank
you. Good morning, church. Good morning once again. Yeah. Let me start by first of all thanking Northview Church for inviting me to come and to have a share of the knowledge on finance and its related wealth creation counterpart. I must say that you have got a beautiful church. You've done some good work, and when you see such kind of magnificence of a church, it tells you the level of sacrifice that the people have put in the work of God. And my personal mission is that I go out to talk to Seventh-day Adventist members. Not only Seventh-day Adventist members, but every other Christian, so that we can be able to create kingdom millionaires. Because this magnificence has not costed only hundreds of thousands, correct? It has costed millions. Is that true? So it has to be done by people on the road to making millions or people with already millions, correct? So you cannot expect this type of a church to be built by people who are not having money. And if at all you didn't have this kind of a church and you were dreaming of it, you wouldn't make such kind of a dream with a paltry earning. You must find a means and a way of ensuring that you have got better earnings so that you can also give in a better way. Because you've been bountifully blessed, so you give bountifully, correct? Yes. I want to also recognize the fact that you've seen the need of empowering yourselves in matters finances so that you can be able to upgrade your knowledge and your skills and the information you have in matters finance and finance management, so that we can be in a position to bring out the best of us in terms of our giving. Let me tell you, a church that is poor finds it also even difficult in giving. In fact, when the elder stands in front and starts encouraging people, we need to give for the camp meeting, we need to give for Adventist men ministry, retreat, we need to give for AWM, what? There is a music. Somebody will start by saying, ai, hii kanisa, siku hizi pesa, pesa, pesa. And how much are we talking about? You realize in one area, 2,000 shillings, another one, 1,000 shillings, another one, 1,500. If you add it total, 7,000. Whoever is having millions in the account, is 7,000 anything to go by? Is it? So it means there is a relationship between your Christianity and the level of your finances. So the Bible says that it will be very difficult for rich people to see heaven, just like it is difficult for for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, correct? Somebody also once said that, that it is, the love of money is the root of, but let me tell you today as I stand here, the lack of money is the tree, the branches, the roots, the stem, and everything of all problems in your life. We are talking about the love of it being the root of all problems, but the lack of it. Try lacking money so that you can be able to know that you have got a whole tree of problems, not just the roots. So it is very important for us to acknowledge the fact that the aspect of having money, the aspect of creating wealth, managing your finances is a key ingredient of a better life. Let me start a little bit with my story. I got married. Okay, I started a relationship that was to lead to marriage about how many years back? About 16 years back. That's when I started the relationship that could lead me to getting married. And then after 4 years, then I decided now to settle down with this lady. And we settled down now, from the time we settled down till to date, that is 12 years. One mistake that I can acknowledge that I did, and probably some of us might have done, is getting married when you are poor. And you encourage each other. You see, when you are poor and you are marrying a poor man or a poor person or a poor lady, the lady tells you that, I love you so much. And he looks into your face and tells you, I love you the way you are. I love you the way you are. And you say, but you see, baby, I don't have anything. I'm just a poor boy. I'm just trying to find my way. Don't worry, my love. I love you the way you are. Then as a man who is not thinking upstairs, try remaining the way you are for the next 2 years. The statement again changes. Since I married you, you've just remained the way you are. So then, what is the difference? The difference is that as the lady tells you, I love you the way you are, he is expecting that you are going to improve over a time. Is it making sense? Yes. And so, when it comes to the life that I started leading, I started living a very poor life. In fact, my first rent was 1,300 shillings. And it was a real hassle coming by 1,300 shillings. The house did not have power. The floor was worked out. And so we had to put some PVC to cover it so that we can be able to have, a little bit of comfort. Of course, we did not have a chair. How do you expect me to have a chair at that time? The bed we used to start a life belonged to a friend of my wife. Since my wife had told her that I'm now getting married, and I told my wife that you go look for a house so that we can start our life, the wife went to a friend and told her, by the way, I'm getting married and I'm getting out of my sister's house, but I fear she cannot give me anything to start life. So the friend, who also happened to have been married the previous 2 months, told her that I've got my mattress, my bed, I will give you the mattress and the bed so that you can use it to start life. But remember, I will come back for it. I'm not giving it for good. So we started our life in Mombasa. And I traveled from Nairobi. So I go and I ask her, have you been able to get the house? And we went and I saw the house. It was according to our budget. The location was nonetheless, So then we started the life. It was a bed, yes. It was somebody's bed. It was a 3.5 by 6. And we had a stove. And we have some 3 sufurias. And then we have 1 basin. And then life kicked up. Then we started the life. That life, I can tell you for sure, I've never enjoyed life like that time. In fact, today, I'm having money, I'm having things that I can be able to say that a better life. But the life I enjoyed at that moment, sometimes there is also some sweetness in inadequacy, whereby you have nothing to worry about, only you, the 2 lovebirds. But going back to the story, after I think 3 weeks or 4, the lady who helped us with the mattress and the bed, calls my wife. Hello, Juliet, yes. I'm coming tomorrow to pick my items. Hi. So I was sleeping on the bed. I was resting after very many activities. And I'm like, she's coming tomorrow to pick the bed and the mattress. Okay. That was one of the most serious stress. We have got 24 hours to find not only a bed, but at least a mattress. I started looking for money left, right, and center. It came to my attention that the people that can lend you money also depend with the level of how moneyed you are. Even the amount of money you can borrow depends on how much you have. I don't know that you're getting some sense out of it. You've never touched 100. Can you 100,000? Now go try borrowing 100,000. Is when you'll realize that even the bank itself do not have faith with you. Even the Shylock looks at you and says that my money is lost. I cannot give this one. But when you've touched 100,000, go borrowing 50. It will be like, can you help me with some 50,000? We can be able to, say something about that. Now, guys, I looked for a mattress within those 24 hours. I borrowed money, and the first mattress I bought was costing 2,100 shillings. I took 3 months returning that money because it was a huge amount of money for me. It was about almost 2 months of my rent. Now, I came to discover later that it is very important, number one, to be financially stable, to be financially free, and to become independent with your finances. So I finish my university, I get my first job, and then I leave that first job. Then my first job was as an accounts assistant, and I worked there for some time, and then a lady calls me to those sides of Syokimau, Mlolongo, that he's got a company, a factory for that matter, that is manufacturing a number of products, and she's looking forward to having someone that can help her run that company. So I go there and I become her general manager. So as a general manager, my work was simply to turn around the company. I was to make sure that the company comes out from doing a turnover of about 2 million monthly to something better. I can remember I did 4 million after 3 months. And then I started realizing that I had not developed the stamina of being a general manager. My age was younger than the experience that I had at that time. So it became so stressful to me, so stressful that I had to run away. I went and resigned. In fact, I remember putting the resignation letter in the pocket and walking with it everywhere. So I go to the meeting and I feel stressed up. I feel like I remove the letter to sign it. Then I remember my family, I remember my wife, the children. When you are also poor, you give birth seriously. You give birth, you compete in fulfilling the mission. You think that you're the only person God told that go ye and fill the world. So I was also giving birth, like staircase. So I look at my life, I look at the life of the family, I look at everything. I don't want to resign but again, I look at the stress I'm going through. Some of you here are employed and others are on business. Others probably might also just be trying to hustle around. And you will agree with me that at some point your boss has annoyed you. Sometimes he even insults you. But you look at your life, you look at the life of the family, you look at your obligations, you say that let me tolerate. Wacha nivumilie tu because there is nothing I can do. It is very common with most of us. In fact, even at your age, You will look at it and say that, now, should I leave this job now? Who else is going to employ me? You know, such kind of questions. Again, you look at your life in that workplace, you look at your performance, you look at what you do, you realize that apart from the profession, the fact that you are a clerk, your work is simply to pass, stamps and do whatever, you realize that that skill cannot be sold outside here. So you can be done to anything, and you cannot resign, because you resign, where are you going? Your skill is not sellable out there beyond where you are. Probably you are employed by the government, and this one, I'm really sympathizing with those who are employed by the government and probably have not reached that self-actualization level whereby you earn some good cash that can give you independence. You know, when you work with the government, the experience is not wholesome. If you are someone, probably you are working in the accounts payables, your work is simply to fill maybe a section and pass that document. Probably put some data and pass that document. You cannot have a wholesome experience maybe in the government employment. So when you resign, you might not have a skill to sell outside here. So it becomes a very totally difficult situation for you. So you have to keep holding on. Your boss is on your neck every day. You are a woman. This man wants to take you for a granted and for a ride and all that. You feel like you can't do it. But again, you can't resign. Now, I am that person that I felt I could not resign, but it reached a point I resigned. Now after resigning, then I came to realize, now what am I going to do? I have got a house. You know, I was living like a Luo. I come from Luo Nyanza. And Luos like good things. We live today only. You know, as a Luo, actually it is not, it's when now we are trying to grow up from that. And we are learning from both the Kambas and people from the mountain. You know, a Kamba is a very funny character. A Kamba will be sweeping around, you know, he's just employed to sweep this church. And he's so loyal, you know. But you may not know the relationship between this Kamba and the highest man. The highest man listens to this Kamba so seriously that you wonder what is happening. And anything that is happening around here, the master knows through the sweeper, who is the Kamba. They know how to be loyal at their workplaces. Very nice. Now you look down upon this guy, then something happens. With us, the Seventh-day Adventist members, sometimes we pretend to be going to the funerals, but not only just going to the funeral, but to see how this person is also living. We see him doing well here, but how is he at home? So you go. You come to realize that this Kamba has built a serious maisonette, every room fitted with showers and all the fittings, you know, with good life. Until you wonder, is this the same sweeper that we are having in our workplace? You know, so we are learning from them. Look at people from the Mount Kenya or the mountain region, those who know how to make money. These people, you can look at, they are doing some very small things here, but whatever they are getting from there, they are doing massive investments. So I was telling you, back to the story, living like a Luo. You know, you live, and I get a house which is costing me like a quarter of my salary. So a quarter of my salary goes to paying the rent. One mistake that you should not do. Don't get a house that you're paying rent that is taking a quarter of your salary. Don't do that. Go down, less than a quarter. Make sure that the house you're paying for, from your disposable income, should be less than at least 20%. On the highest side, 20% of the disposable. I'm not talking about your gross. You're earning 100,000. That is not your money. 100,000 is not your money. You get all the deductions, you're remaining with about 60. In fact, Zakayo has brought it to about 50 something. So talk about you're earning 55, for instance. So that 55,000, let your rental obligation not go beyond 20% of that amount. Are we together? Yes. Your rent should be about 10,000. Ikienda sana, 11. But if it can be 10 and below, you will live well. You will not regret, my guy. So me, I was living like a Luo, more than a quarter, taking my salary. Then all of a sudden I've resigned. I've not planned how am I going to pay this rent, How am I going to survive? How are things going to work out? It was 1 year of dryness. You know, by the first time I thought that my CV was very rich. I had worked with Safaricom then, and then left Safaricom, then went to become an accountant somewhere, accounts assistant, then accountant, then I went to become now a general manager. So I looked at my CV, it looked very rich. I made 380 applications after that resignation. No even single interview, even one. I stayed in that house where I was paying 12,000 for a whole year. Not because I could afford, but because I did not even have money that could get me out of that house to a cheaper one. I was only lucky that God was on my side despite my stupidity. The landlord also forgot to ask me for rent for all that time. Until I got another job. The day I signed that job, the landlord was on the door. Your rent, we have not seen the rent. Then I said, don't worry, next month I've got some small challenge next month. Then when the next month came, I started paying from that time. I was not paying the arrears. I was paying from that moment going forward. You may not be as lucky as me. Utakuwa evicted. Some of you will be auctioned. Your house that you've put up with a very expensive, all that will be auctioned because of bad financial decisions. Now, today, I would want to talk to us about creating the kingdom wealth. Creating the kingdom wealth is a very important aspect, so that if at all we finish creating the kingdom wealth, we can go to the aspects of now the finer details. Now, let me bring this out. I've resigned from my work, I've gotten another job, I worked as a regional manager. I was taking care of eastern side, that is Machakos, Makueni, Kitui, and Kajiado. Those were my counties that I was taking care of in terms of my work. And that is how I came to know this church, because I used to use this road a number of times. So I would see this church probably from the sideways. Now, this is for the employed. Employment brings comfort. And if you're comfortable, then you have to start looking for a way to become uncomfortable. You need to start becoming uncomfortable with your place so that you can start looking for other ways and means of creating your own wealth so that you can become independent. Now, when I was employed here, I was one day called, and then I was told that the work is over. It's something that I did not expect, although I had started getting a lot of problems with my employer. At time, I was demoted from being a regional manager to becoming assistant regional manager. The manager I was given started frustrating me as if he was sent. That do not perform. Your performance will be rated by how stressed your assistant manager is. There are people that you think they have been sent by the devil in your life. So this man was like a devil into my life. He was sent to come and frustrate me. I was really frustrated. But because of my previous resignation, I said I'm not going to do what? To resign. Because I'm not ready to resign. I do not know what to do. So I'm not going to resign until they send me away. So on the date of 1st of October 2019, they called me. And they told me, now we are unable to pay your salary, so we want to release you. And that is how I was fired from work. On a Friday, date 1, I had just earned the salary and spent it. I was only remaining with fare. And then I was fired. Then life began from there. I started looking into life from a different angle. The first resolution that I made is that I'm not going to do or look for any job, but I'm going to create my own money from the little knowledge and skills that I have. And that is how this company came into existence, Ecovest Consultants Limited. We created this company. I created this company long time ago in 2016, but then it was in the books and in the papers. It had not started operating. But the moment now I was fired is when I came to realize the importance of having the briefcase company. I started working through that. Later on, we came and created another company called Ecovest East Africa Property Managers, which deals with property management, property sales, as well as helping people to look for properties that they want to rent. Then last year, we got into a partnership with some other foreigners, and we created a DCP, that is a digital credit provider. We were among the first 20 that were licensed by the Central Bank of Kenya and then authorized to operate in the country, giving digital loans. Even though I've decided to exit and sold my stake to my partner so that I can get out of it, I realized it was stressing me, and for now I want to concentrate into making money in a field that I'm still quite used to. So I sold that stake out, and now we have embarked onto these two companies. So those are the two revenue generating activities that we are currently having, apart from the investments that we have been able to make both as a company and also as an individual. And then plus other also stakes that we have also put in other firms. Investments that as we'll talk to you about involves also buying stakes in other firms and investing in other businesses, and also putting your money in a place that you feel confident about. Now, for you to create wealth, it is very important we get to understand that there are 5 levels of education that an individual must have. There are 5 levels of education that an individual must have in order to create wealth in an all-round concept. The first type of education is called religious education. Religious education is an aspect of the knowledge that there is a human being there is a being, a supernatural being, that has got the power to control the universe. Christianity is one of such belief of religious education. We come to church on every Sabbath and every Sunday for those people that are not Sabbath keepers, so that we can be able to acknowledge the presence of a supernatural being in our life. In matters finance, I will bring to you the relationship between the religious education and your finances. But for now, understand this. As we are told in the Bible, that the hand that giveth is the hand that receiveth. It's a religious teaching. And those who have practiced that religious connotation have been able to see it in their lives, how they have been able to create wealth. Sometimes pastors may stand in front of the pulpit telling you that you need to give so that you are blessed. But I can tell you that you need to give because you are blessed. Correct? You see, when you give because you are blessed, the blessings keep increasing in size. But you don't take it so that you tell God, now bless me, I've brought it. No, God has blessed you. There is much more of the blessings that God has given through the aspect of the religion. Religion also teaches us that when you work hard, then you can be able to get everything that you are looking forward to. How do I know this? When you go to the book, I think it is Proverbs, a little folding of the arms and a little slumber, a little sleep, poverty encroaches you. You get it? It comes to your doorstep. That means the Bible is also discouraging you from doing what? From sleeping. You need to wake up so that you can go and work. So religion teaches you that you need to exercise the aspect of faith, the aspect of hard work, and exercise the principles that are therein for the purpose of ensuring that you create the wealth. Religion is also teaching you to have vision. You see, in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and earth. The earth was without form, and the Spirit of God was hovering on the faces of the deep. Then God said, let there be light. Why was God bringing vision first? That's a principles of wealth creation. Let there be light, so that you can be able to see beyond the goals that you're having or the problems you're having today. You can be able to see beyond every circumstance that can prevent you from creating the wealth. And so religion plays a very critical role. I remember one day in my church, I looked at a certain problem. Because this has taken time, I can be able to reveal it, because now it has been passed by the events. I looked at the pulpit we were using at our church. We were using a wooden pulpit. And then I kept wondering, why this church is big, but why is it that we don't have something like this, something magnificent like this one I'm seeing? But I didn't ask anyone, but I kept being bothered. Then one day I decided to dare God. Daring. You see, daring God. Mungu, if you give me one training, I just want one training, I will invoice $500,000. Give me one training that I want to invoice $500,000. I will go and buy that stand single-handedly. We will not tell anyone. Now you see, God is someone that you cannot dare. It was exactly 1 month after that daring of God, I received a call from one of the big water companies. I think it must have been Lodwa. Lodwa, we call it Lowasco. You know, Lodwa Water and Sanitation. So I get a call from them, I get an expression of interest, I get to fill up the information, and then, boom, come for the training the next 2 weeks. What was the invoice amount? 575,000. I got the money, came back, went to the place where they make it. I looked for the best. The one that I was seeing was the best. It carries like this one, 2 of them, you know, a bigger one. And I said, write it nicely. And then I bought it cash, carried it, got the receipt, and took it to the church on a Friday when no one was there. And I gave the first elder the receipt and the letter donating that to the church. And I saw God's hand. In other words, I'm telling you, the part that religion is playing in your finances. Nobody has ever given to the point there whereby he has finished. Hakuna imeisha. No one. You can't give to your poverty. You can't. It is not possible. I've never seen. In fact, when I started giving, I started seeing a lot of changes. You know the changes I started seeing in my life? People started saying, Bwana Dunga, you have money. You know, by that time, I'm not even seeing it. You know, it is only my face that is showing. I looked glowing. I looked like, you know, and then people say, Bwana, you have money. And then I said, hey, I have money. By the way, I have money. And I started living that life, that I have money. That is the part that religion plays. So the first education, religious education. Second education that you must be able to bring into your attention is what we call personal education. Personal education. Personal education is the extent of you getting to know yourself. You must be able to understand yourself. The principle of understanding has got 3 areas that I would want to bring to you. The first area is understanding who you are. The second area is understanding your reality. The third area is understanding your environment. Who you are, your reality, and your environment. So, getting to understand yourself involves getting to interrogate, what do you like? What do you hate? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? You know, as a person who does not understand himself or herself cannot be in a position to get anything that is good out of himself, or you can't even be able to see how important you are. So you must be in a position to understand yourself. You must be in a position to understand your environment. You must be in a position to understand your reality. Now, in understanding yourself, you must be able to know, what type of personality do you have? Are you an aggressive person? Are you a docile person? Are you a noisy one? Are you a quiet one? Are you someone who likes, you know, being a jumpy kinda? Which type of temperament do you exercise? I know in the study of temperaments, each and every person has got a dominant temperament and a submissive temperament. You can only possess around 2 of them, but you cannot possess one temperament, that you are sanguine and that is all. No. Even sanguines have got time to keep quiet and want a small silent space for themselves. If you are a melancholic, sometimes you can also start feeling that you are having hopes in life. You know, melancholic people are always very worried. If it's the elder on duty, it's like, ile kiti, ay, na, iyo mlango, ebu fungue mlango, na, watu wanakuja, huh? And you see, you know, he's never restful. He's never resting. He's always, he wants to be like, until it is done and the people have closed and the gate is closed, that is when now he's, hii kazi imeisha sasa. You know, those are melancholics. You know, the people that are never rest, they're always pessimistic. They just think something might go wrong. You know, so in each and every temperament lies another submissive temperament that makes you and defines you of who you are. In your finances, you know, there is a relationship between your finance and your temperament. Have you seen those people that when they have money, they are very happy? Not only happy, they are also very generous. It's like, you know, auntie, how are you doing? No, you are lost, auntie. You are lost. And auntie, you know, there is the language of money. Money has life. Money is able to smell, you know, problems and direct you there. So the auntie you are calling has a problem. You know, say, auntie, hello, my, how do you call it? Nephew. Oh, I am sick and I don't know what to do. Oh, Pole, auntie, Pole. Have you gone to the hospital? Oh, no, yeah, I went to the hospital. They were requesting that I should carry out a test, and the test should be how much? How much is the test? It's supposed to be 10,000. Oh, auntie Paul, I'm so sorry. Let me check what I can do. And then you send auntie 15,000. You know, she was only looking for how much? For 10,000. Now, let me tell you, do you know the problem you've created? You've created a source to that person. Now he knows, mimi nikishikana. There is one phone call I can make and I will not be disappointed. So next time you will be just called, hello. Imagine tumeenda hapa police station, umbwa yetu ilikuwa imeuma mtu. Na sasa tumeshikwa. Tafadhali tunaomba kama, you know, before you know it, hello, our cow has been infected by a mouth disease. And it's really bringing us problem. Please, and before you know it, my friend, you have created a source of outflow without knowing. That is your personality and your finances. So you must be able to understand who you are. And then now with that of who you are, let now start exercising restraint and management principles that can help you to preserve your money. Money is having life. Money has got a past, money has got a present, money has got a future. Money has a body, money has a mind, and money has a soul. Speak to the money and you will see how it behaves. In fact, let me get one person from the mountainside. Someone, let me get a Kikuyu to come. A Kikuyu. Please, if you're a Kikuyu and you're in the congregation, just come. This one is a good example, not a bad one. It's a very good example. Please come. Money has life, money has language, money has principles. Money has, you know, past, present, and future. Please come. What is your name?
Teresia Ngina.
Teresia. Do you understand Kijaluo? Okay. You understand? Okay, sir. I don't know whether you understand or not. But I want to speak to you. And please respond. So I'm speaking to you. Angisiling mia beach eufuku naka. So alueti tikao. Let me repeat. Angisiling mia beach eufuku naka. So alueti kasti kao. Okay. Thank you so much. You've responded very well. That was the response I wanted. Now, who understood what I said? Who? Could you come and say what I've translate what I've said to her, please?
I have 500 shillings in my pocket.
Hey.
Ingiza tu mkono uchukue.
You get what I'm talking about now? Let me see. You see? So I told her that I've got 500 shillings. It is in my pocket. Let her dip her hand and then pick it. Question. Did I lie to her? Did I have the 500 shillings? Did I give her the 500 shillings because I had allowed her to take it? I had allowed her to take it, correct? Now, why didn't she pick the 500 shillings? She didn't. So there is the language of money. If you don't understand the language of money, you will never get it. You like it or there is every language that money speaks. And that language must be understood by the person who desires to have the money. And so, understanding yourself can help you to start developing the sense of understanding also the language of money. Understand your reality. Who are you? Where do you come from? Who are your parents? You're black, you're white, you are from which kind of neighborhood? All those are realities. You have gone to school, probably you've not gone to school. All these are realities. You must understand your reality in order to get to understand how to manipulate yourself to receive the wealth in the kingdom arena. Number 3, you must understand your environment. Understanding your environment is very important. Understanding your environment makes you to be in a position to know how to behave in a certain way. Are you aware that every place has got an environment that has been created, including your house? You know, in your house, there is a certain environment and a culture that is existing. You are the owner of that house. But there are things that even you can't do, even if you are the owner. You know, you are the one who brings food into that house. And you are the one who gives money in that house. But then, you may not come late and eat the same food that you brought. You come late, you go straight to bed. Because 1, nobody will warm it for you. 2, nobody will tell you where it is. 3, you know, you will not want to. And you see, that is the environment. Nobody can probably break that environment. You see, on Sundays, maybe you are supposed to be in the house or you are supposed to be at home. And that environment is what has been created. Try living, you know, the home without a very good convincing explanation. That environment will restrain you from leaving the home because that is your environment. Your environment, even in the church, sometimes, if you do not know how to operate within this environment, you may find yourself outside there. If I don't know how to operate within the environment of this pulpit, I may not get another chance somewhere else. Every place has an environment. And that environment has been created with some complicated intertwining reasons that you cannot break. If you try breaking it, you are out there. By the way, even in your workplace, there is an environment. And let me tell you for this, your workplace does not require absolute honesty. Try being absolutely honest in your workplace. You will be honest from home. You will not continue working there. You will be fired. So you must understand the environment with which you operate in order to start your journey towards creating the wealth. You know, I was supposed to get a certain contract by another bank. I don't want to call his name because what took place is not very nice. So that contract was a very good one. I was supposed to deliver a certain training at a cost of 15 million. And my proposal passed, kabisa. And then it reached the stage for interviews. In the stage for the interviews, when I was called for the interview and I got in, I got my friend who is a doctor. He's currently doing, he's done his PhD. Me, I'm not yet done with PhD. So with him, at least he's got the title for the doctor. So I carried him along to scare the interviewers. Now, how we reach there? Started asking, I came to realize that I already did this job home. There was a certain environment that I did not understand, the environment that in which I was supposed to operate. Environment, very important. Understand your environment for the purpose of creating the wealth. If you cannot, don't blame anybody that you do not have liquidity or you do not have sustainable wealth that can get you along. So that is the second type of education. How do you call it? You people are not following me. The first type of education I said was religious education, correct? Now this one is called personal education. 3 perspectives. It has got self, environment, and reality. Correct? You people, you should be following me as we move forward slowly by slowly. There's so much to talk about. The third type of education. Third type of education is academic education. Academic education. Academic education should be helping you to do 4 things, ideally, in the primary sense. That is why we are having basic education, also known as primary education. Then we have got an improved basic education, also known as secondary education. Then we have got an excess type of education, which is also known as tertiary education. These are still falling under academic education. Academic education should help you to do 4 things. 1, to know how to read. To read. You know, when the whites came, they realized that we cannot be able to read. They looked at us and they called monkeys. But when they realized that we could be able to know how to read and start doing things that were different from other, then they started fearing us again. They started again refusing that we should not do what? We should not read. So academic education should help you to know how to read. Number 2, it should help you how to know how to write. Number 3, should help you how to know how to think. And then number 4, should help you to know how to do what? How to calculate. So reading, writing, thinking, calculating, 4 things. Very key. Very, very key. Because when you go through your profession, when you go through education, you're also trying to make a profession out of your education. You are an accountant, probably like me. That is my profession. But you see now, the truth of the matter is, when you go through education, then your name changes. And somebody asks you, who are you? You're no longer Mr. Dunga, that I'm an accountant. So your name has changed because of the academic education. And because that change of the name, it comes how to master your reading systems, your writing skills, and also your thinking. You know, thinking is very key. Thinking is what differentiates you from the rest. Somebody who has gone to school, the way he thinks is different from whoever has not attended. In fact, you can find someone who has not gone to school, but he has got money. So what brings the difference is the thinking trail, the thinking system, how each and every one of them reasons out with their circumstances that they face. You see, if at all you are someone who has gone to school, then you should not be convinced to be a captain. How do you become a captain that flies an aeroplane in his form? If you've gone to school, you can think. How do you become an aviator? How do you call it? Aviator or aviator? Somebody has created a system. You know me, I'm a finance consultant, and I consult on matters revenue generations for companies, as well as systems. So when it comes to a company calling me to come and probably check onto their revenue model, USPs, the unique selling propositions, and how they can be able to make money, and I get a betting company, for instance, I'm not saying that I have done for a betting firm, I get a betting company. My first question would be, what is the risk in terms of losing an investment in this type of revenue model? The risk is the client can win. So I go again, what is the quantification of that risk? To what level is the risk able to expose the company? Then I have to be told that the risk has been minimized to some form of small eventualities in form of a probability, then I look at what is the size of that probability out of 1. Then I must work towards advising the firm to reduce the probability almost to 0. But it cannot be reduced to 0 because this is betting. You also have to provide a proof to the betting licensing board that there is a chance of winning. So you cannot reduce the probability to 0, correct? So you reduce it to some minimal. Then you say that if we get 100,000 people placing 100 shillings, and then we allow a probability of about 1 out of maybe 100,000 to win, then that is now the probability. Then you say, good, correct. Now you can proceed. So you are there with all your brains that you used to go to school 4 years, flying an aeroplane in a what? In a phone, thinking that you are going to win. My friend, you're making a great mistake and you're wasting your time. Going to school in academic education helps you to know how to think. That is the third type of education. Fourth type of education is called now professional stroke market education. Professional stroke market education. Professional stroke market education. Professional or market education gives you an opportunity to now get to understand the business within your profession. You got that? Did you get that? Professional or market education gives you an opportunity to now understand the business within your profession. You are a doctor. Do you just have to work in a hospital as an employee? You are a teacher. Must you go running on the road? Haki yetu. Haki yetu. Is that the only source? You want to increase your income? Is that the only way? Haki yetu. You must understand the principle of the professional stroke market education. What is the business within your profession? Because if you only think that your profession should lead you to work, the question is, whoever you're working for, how did he create that work for you? The question is, why can't you create that work for yourself? That is understanding professional education. You are an accountant. You probably like us. You go and create your firm, and then you start now doing the same accounting works. For the what? For other people and other companies, like we do. So, getting to understand professional education will give you a leeway in terms of creating your wealth. Number 5 and the last one. Number 5 and the last one is called financial education. Financial education. Now, financial education enables you to understand 3 main principles of financial management. That is attracting money. Number 2, managing money. Number 3, multiplying money. If you've gone ever through a financial training and a financial education and a financial understanding, then it is important you get to know these 3 things. How to attract money, how to manage money, and how to multiply money. Those are very key in terms of ensuring that you are better placed. Up to that point, kuna swali? Hello? Okay, let me ask. Are we learning? Or kizungu mingi? Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Mbeo. Yes, we are learning, and I just want to ask a question on something you touched on, the passing. Yeah? And this was absolute honesty. This is one of the challenges and the critical things that is caused. You know, how do you marry your Christianity with your financial system? We proclaim and we promote honesty, including in returning our taxes to the government, in getting to get the right products. This aspect of honesty comes, sometimes we say that you are beaten or you are thrown out of business because you cannot compete. And one of the reasons why you can compete, because you are honest, you return your taxes, correct? You don't go through some black market to get counterfeit products at cheaper price. So your competitor next door is selling half price what you're selling. How do you still remain in this business?
The question would be back to you. Would you continue doing that business when your neighbor is doing half the price? You imported and you're still having the whole goods. First of all, will you still be there?
Ideally, you wouldn't want to, but you go to various fields and you find that this almost touches across in very many other fields. Yeah?
Okay.
It's either in terms of goods or you are offering services and the person who is giving you the service, we know for those who work in government, this is the kickback.
Yes.
I give you a tender.
Yes.
You tender 10 million.
Yes.
You kick back 2 million.
Yes.
You go with the tender.
And if you don't want, wachana nayo. Mwingine atapeana, atapata. Are we there? I will not stand here and tell you do not give kickbacks or give kickbacks. I will not be able to make such a statement. And number two, every business has got its own secrets. It depends with what you classify as your secret. Number three, every wealth creator is either in a secret place or is using something. Every wealth creator is either in a secret place or is using something There is a secret code for each and every business. Secret code that you must be able to learn for you to be able to break that particular code. But one thing I can be able to tell you is that when you are honest, there is also a space for you. There is absolutely no condition that there is no space for honest people. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. In your honesty, there is a space for you. The only problem is that space is very slim. But it is massive opportunity with very few people. The moment you crack it, you will be there with it. So that one will come to a point whereby choose whichever the type of business you want to do. Because there are businesses that are characterized by such dishonesty. For you to thrive in them, for you to make money, you must be characterized by a certain level of dishonesty. You are in the importation industry, you must be able to know somebody probably within the clearing systems that can be able to clear your goods at half the price so that your importation costs become less than the rest in the market. You must be able to use someone somewhere to bypass a certain system in order to get what? To get good particular returns. But maybe that is the space that you are in. What do you think you can be able to do to navigate such kind of changes? And there are certain dishonesties that do not thrive forever. It reaches a point of time that they come to what? They come to be discovered. And when they are discovered, you will always find a way to thrive. Let me tell you, I did my Form 4 twice. Form 4. I'm talking about, I want to explain your point. I did Form 4 twice. The first time I failed. I did not get the grade that are meant for Luos. I got a B plane. So I could not proceed with education. So I had to go back to repeat. And growing up as an orphan, I did not have money to go to a school I wanted. But then Isha came by the name the Mango Tree organization, and they offered me an opportunity to go back to a school of my choice. And there was this school that I always wanted to go to. And the moment I mentioned that school, little did I know that these people had known previously that was the school that I was desiring to go to. They had gone ahead with the exam fees and was waiting for me to go. So when they told me, which school do you want to go to? Then I mentioned that very school that they had gone to. Then they told me, go there tomorrow. Then I was like, so I started walking. Upon reaching the door, then I remembered, by the way, you told me to go to school, that school, tomorrow. Then, now get this. Because of what I'm saying, that's why I'm not going to mention the school. I'm proud of my school. So I get to the school, and then people ask me, Dunga, you're a repeater. So what did you score? I scored a B plane. Aye. Why are you coming back to repeat? I said, no, it's not a grade for a Luo. Okay. So I want an A. Okay. But hapa utapata. Hapa utapata. Mathematics, nani huwa anatoa mathematics F yote. Kiswahili, huwa inatoa. Kwanza ni nini ilikuangusha? Nasema Kiswahili ndio nilipata D. Najua Kiswahili ndio ilinipeleka huko. So D, without Kiswahili I had a B. With Kiswahili I still had a B. So Kiswahili yote, in fact Kiswahili is one of the leading subjects in this school. I said, okay. Then they told me all the good stories until I came to realize that all the subjects are given to the students prior to the examination. And then I asked, how are they giving it? That there's an exam you will do. The last exam. You will do it, but you will not keep those papers. Those papers will be taken, then you will revise them, then they will go with those papers and you will never see them. And then when you go to the exam, say, okay, sawa. But then something told me, even if it is coming, why can't you just also read in preparation? So I said, let me just be honest with myself. Let me read. Let me work hard. Let me prove myself. So that when that thing comes, it finds us floating. You get it? So I worked so hard. I'd never been number one in that school. I worked so hard until the last exam, the very last exam, the one that I thought was going to be taken, revised, and taken back. We did it, and I was number one in that last exam. Now, they didn't come to collect it. They also didn't seem like this was the thing. Then they kept telling us, you work very hard. At that time, Professor Ngeri had just come to become the Minister for Education. And he had done away with doing any examinations in the afternoon. That was the first time we are going to do an exam in the morning. And so this thing became so difficult for even our teachers to retrieve it. So the exam came. When the exam came, we started doing the exams. Before the exam, that is the previous night to the exams, we received so many papers. You know, we came even with phones in school. We sneaked them to school. So we could make a call. That one is from Starehe. Mangu. Alliance did kwanga na kitu legit. Tukipata from Alliance, we are good to go. Kidogo. This one is from Alliance. Keep quiet. At the end of the night, we got like about 10 different exams. 10 different. Claiming to be legit. All of them claiming to be legit. I looked at it, I went and slept. I said, wacha niende nipumzike, kesho nitaamka. When we came, there is nothing at all that was related to all those papers that I got. My friend, I wish you knew how I was happy doing that exams. You know, it was now relying on your honesty. Are you getting what I'm talking about? It was a time to rely on your brain and brain alone. My friend, okay. I touched it wrongly. I was the only person that was happy doing the exams the way it was. I remember in the evening, there was a meeting, and the meeting was hatuwezi endelea hivi. You know, it was a boys' school. Boys, hatuwezi endelea hivi. Mwingine anasema ama ogola ama ni aje, hatuwezi endelea hivi. And then mwingine, ama wewe unaiona aje, hatuwezi endelea hivi. Kwani hizo exam wapi Dunga? Hizo exams unaziona aje? Si mimi naona ziko sawa. Toka hapa. Toka. You know. Then they called the principal. You know, it was guts that I'd never seen since I was born. They called the principal so that they could tell the principal that go and look for that thing. There's no way you can miss it. In fact, they were telling the principal, Baba, you are so connected that you can't lie to us. You are not seeing this thing. You know where it is and you know where to get it. And the Baba was also very skillful. Baba said that, how can I give it to you? And I'm being told that you have got phones inside the school. You are going to give your fellow girlfriends in other schools, and they are going to beat us. So if you want it, bring your... So it was operation, you know, it was an operation that was being carried out by students now themselves. Uko na simu, inatolewa mpaka kwa inawea ndani. Unajua umelala na yako umeingiza ndani ya inawea hivi. Unastuka, mtu ameingiza mkono, anaingoa. Leta hii hapa, wewe ndio unatukataza tusiende university. After baba kuchukua hizo phones, zilikuwa 124 phones, akaziweka ndani ya kikapu, akaweka ndani ya gunia, akabeba. Again, for the rest of the exam. And that is how I came to be the best in that school. Not only that school, but also in the entire district. Because of honesty. Choose your field. Be honest in that field. Don't worry. They will always be there. So I want to talk to you about facts about kingdom wealth. And then we talk about laws of wealth creation. Then models of wealth creation. And then from there, if time allows, I can say something else. Now, you, number one, has to understand this particular state that I have been able to put there. We call it financial pyramid. Could you get me a copy of my book there? Financial pyramid. Who is having, you all have pens and papers? Yeah? You all have pens and papers? Correct. Let's do this evaluation. Let's do this evaluation. Where yes, or where you feel you should say yes, put a tick. Just put a tick. And you're going to count those ticks. Sawa sawa? And do not look at the English, because I realized if you look at the English, it might be confusing. So just answer it according to your level of understanding. So number one, question one. You don't have a source of income. So if it is true that you don't have a source of income, that is a yes. Put a tick. You have a source of income, that is a no. Don't write anything. Just keep quiet and go to the next one. Sawa sawa? So you don't have a source of income. Number two, your source of income is irregular. Is irregular. Your source of income is irregular. If it is a yes, put a tick. If it is not, don't write anything. Proceed. Number three, you don't have a weekly or monthly budget. You don't have. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tu tick. Tick. Tuendele? Are we okay? Proceed. Your monthly income is exceeding your monthly budget. Your monthly income is exceeding your monthly budget. Is it true? Yes. Put a tick. Then, your monthly budget, the first one I said is that your monthly income is exceeding your monthly budget. Sindio? Now, the next one is your monthly budget is exceeding your monthly income. If it is a yes, just put a tick. Next, you always have an anxiety while spending. Ukitaka kununua kitu unasikia ni kama hii pesa ni kama inaenda kuisha haki. Hey, siku hizi maisha imekuwa ngumu aje haki shwali. Hii pesa ni kama but anyway, sasa kwa sababu ni chakula wacha tu ni spend. You feel always anxiety, weka tick. Are we there? You are occasionally worried about your expected income. You feel like, is that money coming? Kwa kupeleka watoto wako kupeleka watoto wako kunini kucheza pale Freetown. Freetown iko na wapi? Huko ama huko mbele? Unafaa uende Freetown kucheza. Ukishatoka hapo umetumia 5,000. Hey. Siku 3 haijatoka kwa akili hii pesa haki. Weka tick. You are able to accurately account for your money. You are able to accurately. Nilipata 20,000, this is how I've used it. If you are not able, please don't put a tick. But if you are not able, get it well, If you are able to do that, to keep records, if you are able to do that, weka a tick. If you are not able, just keep quiet, don't put anything. You have only one source of income, one source, weka tick. Kama ni, unajua sasa one source ni kama jicho moja. Weka tick. Haya. You have multiple sources of income. Kama ni ukweli, weka tick. Kama ni uongo, wachana nayo. You usually pay your bills late. You usually pay your bills late. Your bills, I mean, electricity mpaka ikatike, ndio unalipa. When it comes to loans, mpaka upigiwe simu, ndio hiyo unalipa. When it comes to rent, mpaka uone message ya reminder ya mwenye nyumba, ndio hiyo unalipa. When you pay your late, weka tick. It doesn't matter how late. Don't ask me how late. 1 day, 2 days, so long as it is late, weka tick. You are always, the next one, which is something I've said, you are always reminded to pay your bills. Anytime umekuwa reminded, pay your bill, pay this, pay that, pay school fees. Mpaka barua imeletwa kwa nyumba mara 2 na mtoto. Ndio sasa unaona hii kitu imekuwa serious. Ama umeona notification, your child will not be picked. You know, ukishaona messages kama hayo, then you are being reminded to pick your weka tick. Tuendelee. You have debts or loans that you are serving, put a tick. You have debts or loans that you are servicing, put a debt. Yes. You are stressed due to the debts. You are stressed. You are stressed. Put a tick. You are stressed. Is there any time you have been auctioned? Or you have been threatened to be auctioned? Put a tick. You've been auctioned or threatened to be auctioned. Put a tick. Do you have any loan from your mobile application? From mobile application. Uko na loan yoyote? Weka tick. Weka tu tick. Yes, it doesn't matter how much. It can even be 100 bob. Just put a tick. Because that is true. Do you have multiple loans and mobile application loans? Both offline and online. Uko na loan, uko ingine ya bank, lakini kuna ingine ya bank yenye iko kwa application. Ama kuna hii ya zingine za mobile application. Kama ni ukweli, weka tick. The other one, you do not have, is it true that you do not have savings? You don't have savings. Kama ni ukweli you don't have savings, weka tick. You don't have savings. Ukiangalia kabisa saa hii wanataka 50,000 urgently. You cannot go to the savings box. It doesn't matter where the box is. The box can be in your phone, it can be in your bank, can be in your money market, can be in your treasury bills, can be your treasury bonds, so long as the savings according to you. You can go there, convert it, and then you can go pick it. You don't have that. Weka tick. Weka tick. You don't have. You have used all your savings. Maybe you had the savings, yes, we don't refuse, but now you've used it. It is not there. You've used the savings. Kama ni ukweli, weka tick. You do not have investments. You do not have investments. Investment is now whereby you've attracted the money and then you've used what you're using. Whatever is remaining, you put it somewhere now to continue multiplying itself. That is what we mention as investments. Nyumba yako yenye unaishi is not an investment. Please, let us not get confused. That is your house. It is not an investment. It's not multiplying. You get it? So you have got land somewhere. It is not an active capital, although we can still call it investment. But it is not an active capital activity. But you have got land or whatever it is that can be, don't mention the land you are living in, a separate land that you are not living in. That is what we call the investments. So you don't have investments. If that statement is true, that you don't have investments, weka tick. Tuendelee. You have difficulty, you find it difficult to save. You find it difficult. Unapambana. Ukiweka tu 50,000 hivi leo, kesho ndio umeanza kuikula tu polepole. In fact, ukiona imebaki 57, unasema hii kitu inafaa ipimane 55. Hii tu, wacha nitoe ndio ipimane mahali. Then ukishapima at 55, then again you come to a point whereby you say 5 is not a good figure. Why can't it just be just 50 flat? Then I start from there now going forward. You find it very difficult to save, and even if you save, you keep eating it until it comes to 0. Is when now you start again. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Then you occasionally lack sleep due to financial pressure. Occasionally. Kuna time umeshalala kwa kitanda hivi, watoto wanaenda shule kesho, unajaribu Unajua kuzaa ni wewe ndio ulizaa, si mtu mwingine. Hey. We. You know, mpaka unakuta saa 7 imefika, haujalala, saa 8. Because they say in my mother tongue that sleep is difficult, it can even go with a madman. You find yourself sleeping, you know. You see, but you lack sleep occasionally due to, kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. You feel your finances, you feel that you are no longer in control of your finances. Uko na deni na pesa unapata ni kidogo, mpaka unaona ni kama yani inakuja na inaingia mahali haitoshi kabisa. Weka tick. Weka tick. We are almost done. You regularly sorry. Do you regularly update your wardrobe and feel guilty of wasting money? Umeenda umenunua nguo, wamekwambia hii ni 5,000. Umenunua, umesema chukua. Sasa kurudi kwa nyumba ndio unaambiwa ya kwamba makaa imeisha. Na makaa ni bag yake ni 3,000. So unajaribu kuangalia nguo na unaangalia gunia ya makaa. And then you start beating yourself. How stupid am I? How stupid? Why did I have to do this? Surely, yeah? Then you divert your anger to the house help. Kwa nini hukuniambia mapema makaa inaenda kuisha? Mbona hukusema? Why didn't you say it? You know very well. I don't like the way you do things. You are guilty of spending 5,000 on your dress, but you are not talking about it. So kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Do you find it difficult to finance your vacation? You can only know this if in the last 12 months you've ever gone to a vacation, either yourself, kama you are single, or your family. Do not count the vacation from the workplace. That is a duty, because if you fail to go, you are going to be sacked. So that is not a vacation. Ile yenye umeweka pesa in the last 12 months, ukasema wacha tuende na familia, tuende tujibambe. Kama haujaifanya in the last 12 months, hiyo wachana nayo, usiweke tick. If you've ever done it, do you find it difficult to finance your vacation? So kama ni ukweli, you've not financed your vacation in the last 12 months, weka tick. Kama haujai finance in the last 12 months, weka tick. Lakini kama umefinance in the last 12 months, then it's okay. Have you ever taken advance at work? Advance at work. Kama ni ukweli, sema tu tick. Kama ni ukweli, sema tick. Do you normally take short loans? Short loans. Ile like, nipe hii 10,000 by next month. I'm paying back the whole of it. Short loans. 1 month, 2 weeks, 1 day, 3 days, short loans. Kama ni ukweli, weka tick. Another one. You have to go to work. It is impossible to be without loans and debts for you. It is impossible. Yani lazima uchukue. Lazima. Kama hautachukua, hiyo maisha haiendelei. Lazima uchukue. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Kama ni uongo, wachana nayo. Another one is that you find it, you have to go to work in order to earn, or else it is impossible to have money. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Your income you cannot go beyond 6 months after losing your job or your source of income. You can't go 6 months. Like you're just eating, lose kazi leo, but you can still be able to finance your daily life operations for the next 6 months. Kama hiyo ni uongo. So, kama hiyo ni uongo, if you cannot go beyond 6 months after losing your source of income, weka tick. If you can't go 6 months, weka tick. But if you can go 6 months, just leave it. A one-time variation of your income, one-time variation. You're earning a salary, and then one day the accountant does a mistake. Instead of putting 120,000, ameweka 102,000, 102. Life cannot move on. You are going to borrow in order to finance the remaining 18 as you go and make noise to the accountants and keep camping in that office until that money is returned. Now that is what I'm explaining. That a one-time variation on your income cannot allow you to live your normal life. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Then you cannot further your education because you cannot afford it. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. You are unable to improve the standard of living because of your constricted income. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. You cannot improve your life. Then you have no way of improving your income. Your income ni ile salary imekuwa defined, you cannot improve it. Ama ni business vile iko, you can't improve it, weka tick. You do not have any interest in talking to money specialists. You feel like, I really don't like hii mambo ya pesa kuongea na watu wenye wako na ujuzi hapo, weka tick. You do not have any financial knowledge to help you with your finances. You do not have any financial knowledge to help you with your finances. Kama hiyo ni ukweli, weka tick. Kama hiyo ni uongo, achana nayo. You rarely follow the financial advice you receive. Leo tumesoma hapa, ukitoka hivi unasema yenyewe huyu jamaa alikuwa anaongea vizuri sana, lakini hizo vitu anasema mimi naona kama ni ngumu, siwezi fuatilia. Ukweli kabisa, mimi hata kuna haja ya kujidanganya. You find it difficult. Kama hiyo ni, that is you, weka tick. You have had your inner clothes, now your underwears, for the past 5 years without updating them. 5 years. You not updated them. Weka tick. Weka tick. We are done. That was a journey. That was a journey. Now count the ticks. Count the ticks. Count the ticks. We are counting the ticks. We are counting the ticks. We are counting the ticks. Count the ticks and write it down there. Count. Mmehesabu? Iko sawa? Let me see. How many people are having less than 10 ticks? Less than 10 ticks? Let me see. Okay. How many people are having 20 ticks and below? 20 ticks and below, up to 10. 20 ticks and below, up to 10. Correct. How many people are having 30 ticks and below? 30 ticks and below. Correct. How many people are having 40 ticks and below? 40 ticks and below. Correct. How many people are having 50 ticks and below? It is more than 40. More than 40. Like that is 41, maybe up to 50. How many? Correct. Now, can I give you the interpretation of your results? Can I? Now, from 0 to 10, you need to keep up. You need to keep increasing. Your income sources are okay. You are doing well. And you just need some little improvements. 20 and below, that is financial independence. You have good income. Your level of financial management is better. You need to expand your empire and build more sources. 30 and below, you are trying to meet all the debts. You meet all the expenditures. It's becoming difficult. You have little you have little extra for vacations. You have probably a lower income. And then the fourth one is that is now 40 and below. You are living in a constricted budget. You do not have a space for improving your life. You have debts and you are almost depressed. And then the last one, you are in debts beyond your control. You don't have control for your finances. You need help due to your status and you cannot live a better life due to the crisis. That is the interpretations of, of who you are. So the tool is in this book. This book, I will give it to you at a cost of, I normally sell it at 700 shillings, but when I have got special training like this, I do it at 500 shillings so that we can maximize on the numbers. The moment I get out of this place, you give me a call, I'll sell it to you at 700. But then today, it's just 500 shillings. Now, you have been honest to yourself, correct? Right? Yeah. I don't know whether this, why is it not showing you? Or, okay, I thought it could be able to show you that. Now, be honest to yourself. Now, being honest to yourself makes you to classify yourself in 5 categories of the financial pyramid. 5 categories of financial pyramid. The lowest category is called financial crisis. The lowest category is called financial crisis. The second category is called financial instability. The third category is called financial stability. The fourth, financial independence. The fifth, financial freedom. Let me take you through them one by one. Financial crisis. Financial crisis is the lowest point of the financial freedom. It is when you are having debts beyond control. You are depressed. You cannot earn the way you think you can. You don't have control of your finances. Things are thick with you. Mata ni magumu. Things are very difficult. Financial crisis, whatever you earn is less than what you spend. You spend more than you earn. You keep living on debt. You keep getting to borrow in order to finance the difference of your expenditure. That is financial crisis. Someone who is under financial crisis is always depressed. Is always anxious. Ni mtu ambaye hata accountant akitengeneza makosa kwa slip yake anaweza mpiga kama ako na opportunity. Kitu isimkue ya kwamba kue mkisi. Sasa atampiga zaidi because that bit of being in crisis, you get annoyed so fast. The reason as to why when you call for a demonstration in our country and many people come out is because so many people are depressed. They want a place to be able to pour that frustration. So financial crisis is one cause of mental health problems. That is why it is very important that our church should embrace teaching financial matters in the church, and in as much as we are also teaching the Bible in the church. Because you are being read to the Bible, but you are broke. You will not understand. The mind is blocked. Things are not working. So you are being told, believe in God. You are believing in God and things are not working, my friend. So what do we do? You must be able to get to understand what can we do about your financial status. Then now we preach to you the gospel. So I'm happy with this church. You've seen the need of bringing the aspect of finances so that you can become independent. Then now do the work of God with a lot of happiness. Do you know how it is difficult becoming an Adventist and employed? I don't know whether you know that. Employment with Adventism ni vitu viwili ngumu sana kurun. If you are successfully running it, ujue ya kwamba you are a hero. Because the employer wants you on Saturday. There are so many things that are supposed to happen on Saturday. Every time they're thinking about event, they say, and Mr. Zachary is not going to be there. So, kidogo, they are saying that now we are going to have a team building. The only time we are going to do this is on Saturday. Ndio hiyo email umetuma. I am sorry, I may not be able to be available. My friend, those people are looking at you. Kwani huu mtu, wengine wanasemanga, kwani nyinyi punda yenyu hayangukangi kwa shimo? That is how it is difficult being an Adventist and an employee. So it is important that the church should embrace how to teach its members to become financially independent outside employment so that they can worship God with a lot of freedom. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Yeah, please don't see me as glorifying so much of business and living employment. No. What I'm trying to say is that you can be able to do it much better when you are outside, when you are free in terms of your freedom. Number 2 is financial instability. Financial instability is a circumstance whereby you are earning 100,000 and you are also spending 100,000. The amount of money you are earning is the same as the amount of money you are spending. So you do not have any kind of savings. You do not have any investments. You do not have any money with you. In case something happens to you, uanguke tu hivi pa, hata pesa ya kupima ni ugonjwa gani imekufanya kwanza ndio ukue resuscitated. Hakuna, tunaanza kuchanga saa hiyo. You get what I'm talking about? That is financial instability. You've lived in probably one particular room for over 20 years as someone who is renting, and then you are proud saying that, I've lived here for long. All these my children, I've given birth to them when in this house. So, I'm an experienced tenant here, my friend. So you are in financial instability. You cannot improve your life. You cannot live better there's no way 20 years down the line, you're still enjoying the same utilities and then feeling proud about it. No, that is financial instability. Then you come to the third level, that is financial stability. Financial stability is the essence whereby you can be in a position to get money, spend it, save some, invest kingine, and you can be in a little bit freedom, at least to be able to live a life. You can go for vacation, you can support a family or another family. You can have people that are depending on you different from your family. At this particular point, food is not a big problem. But let me make this statement. This class, financial stable people, are also the most deceived people. Probably you are stable because you are earning good money. You are employed in a place, you are earning like, let's say, $500,000. But when you look at your needs are coming to around 200,000, for instance. You are having excess of how much? 300,000. Now 300,000, you've purchased a home, you are living there, you've put some investments kidogo hapa na pale, but then not much. Then you can now be able to have your car, drive a good car, and then now you can go for vacations. The day that employer tells you, my friend, Kwisha, you are now going to start becoming stressed immediately. So you are the most deceived class. You are stable, having good cash flow, but it is only one stream of income. One stream of income. In this book I've written the difference between streams of income. Streams are small rivers flowing into a main river. You are also a teacher, and then from teaching you are doing motorbike rider, and then you are having a kinyozi, you are the kinyozi man, you are the one doing the kinyozi. You are having stream but of incomes. You are the stream. And then with different incomes. But you should be able to have streams of income, very small, flowing into a big river, to be able to make your money. So you need to sit down and start checking, how do I get money personally? How do I get money? Kuna hii yenye inatoka kwa biashara hii, kuna hii ingine inatoka hapa, kuna hii inatoka hapa. It can be monthly, it can be weekly, it can be quarterly, it can be yearly. Write them down. Write the number of income. But if you realize that you start listing and your number reaches 1, you can't go to number 2. You see, you have got something to think about. Then financial independence. Financial independence is now a place whereby you have got streams of income. You can be able to work, yes, but then you are not dependent on that work. You are really, even if that work gets over, you can still sit down and choose another work if you want, but life can continue. You do not have problems of meals. You do not have problems of basic needs. Those are things that you are surpassed. You've reached another level whereby you can be able to get your income easily. Then financial freedom is a point whereby even you do not know how much you are worth. You know that you are roughly 100 million, 500 million, but then you may not even know because somebody else is in charge of all the financials and the accountabilities that you are having. All of us are looking forward to becoming to the level of financial freedom. So you have to be quite clear and honest to yourself to get to understand what you need to have. Now for you to be clear on that, you also have, now you've known where you are. You've done that analysis. You know where you are. You need now to know where you are going. And then when we are going to do the goal setting, you must understand that look at the future from the back. Look at the future from the front. I want to build a house. How much does the house cost? 5 million. So 5 million, how much do I need to keep on a yearly basis so that I can get to 5 million? Then how much do I need to keep monthly? Then how much do I need to keep weekly or daily? As you do this, you also have to check that how is this one going to impact on my income? Then you'll be able to have that particular ideology. How much you have saved, how much you are going to save, and then what you need to do on daily basis in order to set that goal. Now, when you're setting that goal as well, identify your why. Let me get a volunteer. One person to come, a gentleman. I have used a lady. Now let me get one gentleman. Please volunteer. See, tumpigie makofi. Tumpigie makofi. No, tumpigie makofi. Clapping is a form of appreciating someone, correct? Yes. Your name?
Kenvix.
Kenvix.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Kenvix, I want to ask you a question, and you tell me, why are you here, Mr. Kelvin? Huh? Hey, Kenvix, wait. Oh, you need to get another microphone. Why are you here today?
Thank you for the question. I am here today to get a deeper insight on how I should be spending my family finances.
A deeper insight on why you should be spending your family finances. Question 2. Why do you want to get to know the deeper insights on how to spend your family finances?
Because I may be having a stream of income, but I don't know how to spend it wisely. I'm not an expert.
You are not an expert in spending your money wisely. Third question. Third why. Why is it that you are not an expert in spending your money wisely?
The reason as to why I'm not an expert in spending my money wisely. Somebody can help me.
Let's just proceed. We are in the third why.
Okay. I'm not an expert in that area. I get it, I have it, but then I'm not in that field of how to use this money.
Okay. So why are you not in that field? On the knowledge of how to use that money. Why are you not in that field?
Because I chose another different field.
So the question is, which is the fifth one? So why did you choose a different field and not this one?
Because of interest.
Because of interest?
Yes.
So why were you interested in that field? That is the, how many, the sixth? The sixth why?
Because the field aligned and aligns with my vision.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have reached the sixth. I don't want to go to the seventh one. Now, anytime you want to make any decision, go up to the seventh why. You got what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Go up to the seventh why. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. If you can't identify the why, you want to do a decision on I want a piece of land. Why do you want a piece of land? To put my home. Why do you want to put your home? So that I can have freedom. Why do you want the freedom? So that I do not want to be disturbed by 1, 2, 3. So why don't you want to be disturbed? Until you get to the seventh why. That last reason will be a very good reason as to why you are going to make that decision that cannot be disapproved by anybody else, even if they wanted to do that to you. Now, you've been able to identify your why. Your why is important because it is the component that forms the reason. And so, if you go that level, you will be in a position to make that. Facts about kingdom wealth. Facts about kingdom wealth. Number 1, God is the source of wealth. God is the source of wealth. God is the source of wealth. You see, God can use anything as a resource, but God still remains the source. Are we there? Are we there? Tusimame. Let's stand. Let's stand. Aye. Let's do some small stretcher. Let's write number 1 to 10. Number 1 to 10. So we write number 1 to 10 hivi. Not in your books. Where? With your head. So number 1 tunaandika hivi. That is number 1. Can we go number 1? Usigonge kichwa. Usigonge kichwa kwa those hivi. So number 1, can we do number 1? Number 1. You need this number 1. Number 1. Now, how do you do number 2? This is 2. Clear? Let's do number 2. You people are lying to me. Somebody is lying to me. Let's do number 2. Very good. Let us do number 3. 3. Let's do number 4. Let's do number 5. Let's do number 6. You're a good student. Now let's do number 7. Kuma, you are doing very well. Let's do number 8. Let's do number 9. Number 9. Now I want to see how you do number 10. Now let's do number 10. Let's do number 10. Now there's only one person who has gotten number 10. How do you write 1 and then write 0 on the 1? How do you write 10? Oh no, that's you do 1, then you move. Then you do the 0. That is it. Hey, number 10. 1. Very good. Clap for yourselves. All right. Let's have a seat. Correct. Now, God is the source of our wealth. God can use anything. In your life, God is using a job. In your life, God is using a business. In your life, God is using inheritance. In your life, God is using whichever the kind of means He's using. But God is the source of wealth. If you want to make kingdom wealth, then you have to understand that God is the source of wealth. God can use business as a resource. God can use your education as a resource. He can even use your position as a resource. But He still remains the source. During the time that we lose our jobs, we normally think that we have lost the source of the income. No, we have lost the resource. We have lost the resource because God is the source. So you have to understand that God is the source. The kingdom of God is the purpose of the wealth. You are getting that money not for your own use, not for just personal enjoyment. Yes, we are supposed to enjoy. And I look forward to one day that all of us here, we shall be able to reach a Sabbath in our finances. Reaching a Sabbath in your finance, whereby you can wake up, you can go to the Indian Ocean, you can be able to swim. Ukitoka hapo, you are being served food, you are just sleeping, doing nothing, eating, without getting worried that something is going wrong. You get what I'm talking about? If you've not been able to reach that level, you should desire. Because I believe that every human being, God created us to enjoy. God created us to have good money. God created us to be wealthy. He didn't create us to become poor. Why was Job wealthy? If at all God meant for us to be poor. And God was a righteous man. A person who eschewed what? Evil. But he was very rich. Why? Because God knows there's a relationship between your riches and how you also worship Him. When you are rich, you have nothing to worry about. You have no problem. And then you choose to come to church and become dedicated to the church. Then your motivation is not the money. Some of you here are very faithful members of the church because you're looking for wealth. You're looking for money. If that money has not come, you are always praying. Your prayer item number 1, God, give me a breakthrough. Give me a breakthrough. God, why don't you see me like you're seeing others? God, and you kama kazi umepewa unafanya. What is the motivation? Poverty. The moment the poverty will go, and then you start getting the money, you will tell people, I'm very busy. No, not this day, I'm very busy. My friend, but why are you not coming to church? No, I'm busy, my friend. You are in church because of poverty. But when you are in church and you are rich, it is a decision. Amen? You are not getting what I'm saying. If you are in church and you are capable in your finances, then it is a deliberate decision. You are worshiping God with a deliberate decision to worship God. Because your motivation is not money. Your motivation is to further the kingdom of God. So God, the kingdom of God is the purpose of the what? For the wealth. 70% of Africans are poor, and the majority of us come to church to break free from the poverty. So God gives us wealth for the purpose of His kingdom. If you look at the book of Luke chapter 6 verse 33, money is a tool for fulfillment of God's purpose, not the end to a means. Correct? Money is a tool that is used to fulfill God's purpose. We confuse God's purpose in our life to mean getting rich. God does not have a motivation to make you rich. That is a very simple thing to God. Do you think God can just create you and His purpose was just to make you rich? No. God makes you to have an impact in the work of the kingdom. In the work of the kingdom. And that one, the tool that you're supposed to use is the money in your hands. And so you will be just rich when God has actually started that purpose in your life and you accept it. Kingdom wealth is entrusted and it is not acquired. It is entrusted. So you have money today. Don't think that it is your smartness. that has brought the money. You have got something that is in your hands. It is not because you are good. It is not because you know how to create wealth. No. It is because God has given you an opportunity and he has entrusted you with that. If you check the book of 2 Chronicles 26 verse 5, as long as he sought God, he was successful. Are you getting that statement? As long as he sought God, he was successful. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And so whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. Verse 11 says, so if you have not been, you've been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you a property of your own? So you need to really read that book of Luke 16, chapter 1, up chapter 6 from verse 1 to 13. You'll get to understand that God's wealth is entrusted. Now, addiction to God and his kingdom is a trigger to his wealth. If you're addicted to God's kingdom, then it will always now start coming to your realization. When you look at every finances, every wealth, everything in your mind in terms of money, and you keep thinking about God's work, it is the beginning for you to start creating the kingdom wealth. And so, it is like drug addicts. You know, when you get a drug addict, I have a brother who drinks very seriously. So I brought him from home to Nairobi and I told him, my friend, unajua mimi kwangu hakuna kukunywa pombe. So don't drink while in my home or in my house. So I brought him. He's always in the house, always in the house, always in the house. The day he left, he discovered a place that they sell alcohol. Now I don't know how. You know, I can't even understand how. Take a drunkard to Namanga, ajui mutu, ajui mahali, and give him 1 hour. He will find a place to drink alcohol. True or false? Yes. Addiction has got a certain inbuilt dispensation that attracts you to the place that you can find whatever can fulfill that addiction. So if you are addicted to drugs, if you get into the newest town, you will find where those drugs are being sold. Wewe mwingine, you are not addicted, you will not know. When you are addicted to God, you will always find where God is. And whoever is addicted to God will always kickstart a trigger of his wealth creation. Amen? Uncompromising obedience to God releases kingdom wealth. Uncompromising obedience. God works with our obedience to a world, to the word and his instruction to help us. He gave everybody a chance to become his children. Obedience should be portrayed through the following rules. Obedience should be portrayed through the following rules. Now this one I'm talking as a Seventh-day Adventist church member and a Christian. Rule number 1, the rule of first fruits. The rule of first fruits. If you are earning money, you take the first income, pick the whole of it, go with it to the altar. Tell God, God, watu wanaendanga mahali. It is either you are in a secret place or you are using something. I told you, for you to create wealth. Hakuna pesa haina siri. Kila pesa iko na siri. Ndio mahali wenye wanajua kutengeneza pesa, hawatembei wakisema ya kwamba, but me, this is how I make money. I make money through doing this. Nobody talks about it because it is a secret. It's a secret. So, one of the secrets, take the first fruits, go to the altar, provide it, pray to God, bind the job, say to God, now this is the first salary, hey, I've just removed my fare, then this is yours. Protect my work. You have gotten the first profit, pick it, go with it to the altar, tell God that this is first fruit. After that, give it. You will start seeing difference. You do business, people are dishonest, but you are attracting people who want honesty in the business. You are looking into business of tenders. You are applying tender like others. Your tender document is picked. And he said, can you call him? Call him. Let me tell you, being honest. One day, a certain guy called another guy. That bana, kuna kazi natafuta. Si unisaidie na ile kampuni yako. It was a construction firm. So a certain Mwindi wanted to build a very big apartment. So that guy gives him, and he tells him, hii kiiva, na kuita. Si unaelewa hiyo maneno? Yeah, you have the skills, but you don't have the papers. So you give your credentials. So jamaa akaenda ukweli. Na kabisa, that job was worth like about 250 million. Hiyo deal ilienda ikaiva. But then the guy was not honest. So akaanza kazi. Hakuambia jamaa yake ya kwamba ile deal iliiva. Akaanza kazi. As the rule dictates, when you are building any house, you display the client name, but at the same time you also display the name of the person who is doing the building, yani the contractor. You understand that? So the contractor is now not this guy doing the actual thing. The contractor must be that one in the papers, the one that was given the tender. So this guy displays that name, and then he starts to work. Then the Mwindi guy realizes on the very setting point of the house that this person really does not look like he knows what he's doing. And then he goes online and he Googles the name of that company. And then he finds the number and it is Kibao, and then he says that I'm not aware this work is going on. And you see, thank you. And you see, the Mwindi takes the job from that guy and then gives this man. And he says, now start it. You know, when you are giving your first fruits, that is what is likely to happen. Kazi haikuwa yako, lakini Mungu anaitoa tu mahali iko, huko chini. Anaileta hapa juu. Nasema sasa huyu ndio lazima fanye hiyo kazi. In short, the rule of the first fruits. Rule number 2, rule of tithing. Rule of tithing. Give your tithe. Pay your tithe. Pay it faithfully. You will see a difference. I remember there's a certain property we were looking for. It's a pretty good property. You know, sisi ukipata property moja yenye una collect rent mzuri, inakutoa kwa hapo chini. So there's this property. Yani nimeenda mpaka nikasimama hapo usiku. I told you when you are creating wealth, you are using something or you are a secret play. Are you getting what I'm saying? Nikaenda hapo usiku. Hapo karibu. Nikaenda nikasimama karibu na pole ya stima. Kasimama hapo. Nikaanza, Mungu. If you give me this property, if you just give me this property, the first commission we are going to get, hiyo ni yako. Hatutaki kupingana na wewe. Mimi sitaki tupingane na wewe. God gave me the property. After giving me the property, we did the first work and then the payment delayed, and it was around December. So I closed the job and I went home. And after going home, I spent kama mjaluo kabisa mpaka nikaona I'm going to finish everything. So I rushed and put full tank in the vehicle, so that in as much as nimemaliza kila kitu, at least naweza rudi wapi? Nairobi. And the truth is, nilimaliza kila kitu. So nika drive vizuri that day, January. Nikarudi. Kurudi hivi the following day, napata text ya landlord. Kindly send me an invoice, I want to pay. Nikatuma invoice haraka, then akalipa. My friend, that is the only money that I am having. God, I said that I should be able to give you the whole of this money. It is my wife who reminded me that my husband, see, you remember we said that money tutapeana. So ikifika, unajua sasa hiyo ananiongelesha hiyo pesa ishafika, iko kwa simu. Ikifika si utapeana. God, see, you understand just once. Hii peke yake tu. I start bargaining with God. Mungu, hata wewe ukiangalia, sina kitu. Tumespend pesa yote ushago. Tumeenda huko kujionyesha, tuko na gari tunaendesha. So kila mara before I knew it, mafuta imeisha, lazima niweke full tank ndio nirudi. Sasa Mungu haki. Then a certain decision just came and like, give that money uachane nayo, endelea na suffering yako the way you are suffering when you came. So I took that money painfully, got into my phone, into our pay bill, 551600765 account, First Fruits. Nikatuma, nikasikia kama hiyo pesa imeenda, hata kama nikawa naitaka sasa siwezi pata. Do you know, I can't be sure how long it took, but it was in the same January, same January. There is a guy who does training, but he uses my company because he does not have a company. My company has credentials for training. He calls me, he tells me, Mr. Dunga, yes, send me an invoice. Please do an invoice of 1.4 million to this bank. We've done the training, they're supposed to pay. I went and did the invoice. Our agreement was, every particular invoice I do, I take 10%. Every particular invoice I do, I take 10%. Then I add 5% withholding fee. My friend, out of nowhere, I received 220,000 within the very month that I was very broke. Are we getting what I'm talking about? The rules apply. You may just argue with them, but if you want to get into the secret place, you have to exercise the rules of the secret. The rule of offerings, that's the third one. Give offerings. Give offerings. Make sure that after giving your tithe, find a way, get a small offering, add it. You have something that you can offer on behalf of the church, offer it. You can even offer a job to someone. It doesn't have to be necessarily somebody from the church. And you have to know one thing. It is also very difficult working with Adventists from your church. You have to know that. It's very difficult. If you are having a farm and you want to employ an Adventist from your church, he will want to work in a way that you should understand. There is choir practice, you understand, we have got choir practice. You know, there is Amo Day, you understand, I cannot come to work, there is Amo Day. You know, there is Pastor's Appreciation Sabbath, you understand, I will not come. That's the problem of working with an Adventist from your church. He expects you to understand, even if he's lethargic and lazy at workplace. So you offer offerings, provide offerings. Then there is the rule of extra mile. The rule of extra mile. The rule of extra mile is that every normal timelines, there are traffics. But there is no traffic at the extra mile. Umewaona mtu amekwama kwa jam saa 10 asubuhi? Umewaona? Eti ya kwamba saa 10 na amekwama kwa nini watu wanaamukanga asubuhi wakitaka kutravel ushago blah blah blah? Because they don't want the jam. If you want to live a different life, go an extra mile. Go beyond the call of duty. At your workplace, do not just be there. Go an extra mile. In the offering aspect, in the church domain, go an extra mile. Give more than what is expected of you. The rule of welfare, think about others. How are others feeling? That's the other rule. How are others supposed to survive? How are others supposed to get this thing? Get the rule of the welfare, the rule of sacrifice. Now this one goes beyond. You have done the best, but then now you feel that you need to sacrifice further. Then lastly, parental honor. Honor your father and mother, for this is right. The first commandment with a promise. Let me tell you, the greatest percentage of our blessings come from our parents. Some of us are very, very bad. When you've grown older and you have money, now you start dictating your parents. Start telling them what to do. Mom, I don't like that. Mom, I don't want this thing to be done this way. You even put them at ransom that nothing can be done without you. Have you called so and so? Am I boring to you? Some of these things are too true to behold. So give your parents their honor. You will see the greatest blessings coming therein. Then, 10 rules. Law number 1, the law of understanding. I already explained the law of understanding. Sidio? Where you get to understand yourself, understand your reality, understand your environment. Sidio? If you are not informed, you will be deformed. Information is the key to the transformation. You learn, the more you earn. If you are not updated, you will be outdated. If you are not inspired, you will do what? You will expire, definitely. And so, in going to school, you can either be educated or miseducated. And I've told you the 4 aspects of the education: spiritual, professional, personal, academic, and financial. You've already known that. I've also explained them, each and every one. The second law is the law of delayed gratification. The law of delayed gratification. Save money. Save, my brother. Have something that you can put aside today so that you just don't get gratified today. You earn money. Please retain the money. Do not eat everything. Ideally, save at least on the lowest side 10% of what you earn. Save it in a form that it easily convertible to cash and be able to be used. How do you save this money? You can save it in form of putting it in the money markets. Money markets will give you an opportunity to grow. Some of the money markets today are giving up to 17%. So you keep this money and you're given 17% on a yearly basis. Divide it by 12, you are earning like 1.3%. 1.3% of a million shilling is how much? If you want to know the magic of numbers. 1.3% of a million. Okay, 10% of a million is 100,000. Sindio? So 1% of a million is 10,000. Can you imagine that you keep your money where 10,000 is coming every month and you are doing nothing about it? That is the magic of numbers. And when you are doing this, you do it in what we call intermittent compounding basis. Today you have saved 1 million. Then next month or another time you add another 500,000. Then you add maybe another 2 million. Then they grow compoundingly. You keep that money in a manner that if you want to convert it once, you can convert it within a period of maybe 2 or 3 days. Keep the money. Save. Wealth creation takes a deliberate effort. So you must delay the current happiness. You cannot be happy today and be happy in the future. You can't. You must keep the gratifications for the future. A time is coming that the decisions you make today will be making you happy tomorrow. When you'll be telling somebody that I bought this land at 50,000, somebody may not know. I formed a group, and when we formed the group, I told them, we need to invest. We need to invest. And they were like, no, we are still young. I forced them. We went to a place, we bought 5 acres of land. An acre was going at, by that time we bought that acre at 70,000. Today, it is not long ago, it's about 2018. Today, in the same place, an acre is going for now 500,000. How many number of percentages have we garnered from that? From 70,000 to 500,000. And we have not sold the land. We are still holding onto it. Delay the gratification today so that you can earn tomorrow. You can earn tomorrow. I bought another land in those sides of in those sides of Loitoktok, Kimana. We went, the people are saying, this far is very far. Can you even live here? First of all, are you living at your Ushago? Is this your Ushago? What is the distance between this place and your Ushago? What is the distance? Yeah? You see, and where that land is, are there no people there? There are people. So if you want to buy land based on how easily you can live on it, you are still not having an investment mind. Have an investment mind of delayed gratification. I bought that land, that's like about 3 or 4 years back. By that time, we bought an acre at 1.4. No, 2 acres at 1.4. An acre was going for 700,000. Today, that was 2021. Today, the acre in that, so not an acre, 50 by 100 is going for 500,000. 50 by 100. An acre has got how many 50s by 100? 8 of them. So 8 multiply by 500,000. How much is that? You see, now that is what I'm talking about. Delay your gratification so that you can earn tomorrow. Then there is the law of personal involvement. We are expected to work, and this is what encourages God's blessings on our life. You don't just sit there and say that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My friend, you cannot do all things. Can you fly? you can't fly. What happens is that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What does it mean? It means that you can do what you were created to do through the strengthening of Christ. Amen? You didn't get it. So you are not created to fly. So you cannot say that I can imagine that I can fly and then you fly. My friend, no, that is not your space. If you are someone who is able to do business and that is your cut, so do business and say that I can make millions through Christ who strengthens me. If you are not cut for the business, you feel that you are in the employment and that is your space. Say that I can make millions through this employment because of the Christ that strengthens me. So you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you means you can do what you were created to do. If you are a fish, you cannot be compared on how best you can fly. And if you are a bird, you cannot be compared to how best you can swim. You can swim. Yes. You can never get a point of wealth creation without personal involvement. Work is directly related to wealth creation. Work is the action button in creating the heavenly wealth. Number 4, the law of consistency. The law of consistency. In Kenya, people are really diversifying the means of creating wealth. I don't dispute it. I don't. But when you go to a forest, and you want to cut a tree, you cut this tree ukisikia umechoka unaenda kwa tree nyingine, unaona hii ndio size yake iko kidogo, hii ndio nikigonga mara 3 itaanguka, then unagonga unakuta kumbe ni ndogo lakini ni chuma, unasema ai ilikuwa inakaa kidogo lakini ni ngumu, wacha nirudi kwa ile kubwa. Ukirudi kwa hii kubwa unapata ile mahali uligonga imegrow tena, so unaanza afresh unagonga tena unasema mafuta sasa ndio inauza sana. Mafuta iko na, umeacha your business ya makaa, umeacha your business of spare parts, umeingia kwa mafuta. Mafuta unangangana nayo, unagundua kumbe watu wa mafuta ni wezi. Wewe si mwizi, unaachana nayo, unarudi, unasema wacha niingie saa hii bana biashara ya shule. Kila mboma iko na mtoto. Na hao watoto wote wanataka shule. Unadhani watakuja kwa shule yako peke yako? Unaenda unaanza shule kwa nyumba. Wewe you are not a teacher. And then you realize that kumbe hujui kucheza na watoto. Your personality ni ile watoto wanachukia. Wanakuona sasa wewe hata uchezi. Sasa mimi sitaki kwenda kwa ile shule, watoto wanakimbia. Sasa hiyo biashara umefunga tena. You keep hacking here, you keep hacking here. You hack there. You must be consistent. Consistency is what will give you the wealth that you need. Then there's the law of patience. You must be patient. You don't blow up. You say that I want to blow up. I'm doing this thing, it will blow. Whatever blows will scatter away. You need to grow. Grow slowly by slowly. And when growing, you must be patient. Patience is what will give you the wealth that you need. The law of patience. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 11 says that wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will do what? Will increase it. The Bible has supported me. Usiseme ya kwamba ule jamaa alikuwa anafanya pere pale lakini hakuna kitu. The Bible has also supported the same. The law of patience. When you are patient, you will be able to. Kama mtu angeniambia in 2019 that my business will take this long that it is taking or it has taken in order to break even, singedhubutu. Ningetoka tu pole niende ni update CV, nitafute kazi ingine. Until I got inside and I realized that this thing, my friend, unachukua pesa, unaweka, ina meza, alafu inakuangalia. Unachukua tena, unaweka, ina meza, na kuangalia. Sasa hiyo familia pia inataka nini? Pesa. I remember I took a leap of faith. I invited some dignitaries and then I created a seminar like this so that people could come and attend and then they pay. So I went and booked a hotel, high-end hotel. I used the little money that I was having, the little savings that I was having, booked a hotel. And then I also sent some deposit to the dignitaries that were to come so that they could be able to attend. And then I bought food. And then I did everything. And the day that this was supposed to happen was 13th of March 2020. And so, as I have already explained everything, so I have put everything in place, then now I've gone to the hotel very early in the morning, very early. I'm there. Then I'm seeing President press briefing that schools to be closed with immediate effect. Not even to be closed tomorrow. I cried that the president, ungesema hata kesho, hata jioni afadhali. Why just saa hii? Nobody attended the event. Because I had prepared food, I took my car, an extrail. I went to a friend of mine. There's this friend of mine that I carried to go and help me scare the interviewers. You know him, eh? The one. He was a principal of a college. I asked him, uko na students hapa kwa college hapa usai wako eh? I can carry them to the venue so that they can come and attend an event. We have got an event. The students came and they started flocking so that they come. And I was to carry them to the venue, feed them, train them, then bring them back. Hiyo pesa niliweka ikamezwa na biashara ikabaki inaniangalia hivi. Nyumba nikafungiwa, maji ikakatwa, stima ikakatwa. Na niliwaambia, when you don't have money, you also give birth as if you're competing with the work of God. I've given birth. By that time, my child is 1 month old. Amezaliwa 2020, January, date 20. Saa hiyo akona 2 months. Na tunafungiwa nyumba. Na tunafungiwa maji. Na tunafungiwa stima. Niko hapo. Nimepigwa na maisha. But the only thing I was holding on to is the law of patience. Then the law of networking. You are here. Get the number of the person next to you. Then tell him that you are doing this and that. You will be in a position to have been able to network. Your network is your network. Is your net worth. The network you gain determines how far you go. If you don't have a network, my friend, you're not going anywhere. I got a certain contract with the government. And it is because of a network. I came to a training like this in another church, and I stated what I'm doing because I like networking. So when I stated what I'm doing, then the person told me, you need to come, we talk. And he called me. I realized that he was working with a very big agency in the government, and he was the accountant, and he knew the director general. And he took me to the director general, and we sat down, we talked. The director general told me, you can do the work. Yes, I can do the work. You are sure you can do it? Yes. If you can do it, that is very good. I'm going to give you this work. Please make sure you perform and give us deliverables. And then I was taken through the normal procedure. The normal procedure, tendering. I'm tendering and I know I'm the one. I'm writing proposals, I know I'm the one. All the shortlisting, I know I'm the one. We go for the interview, I know I'm the one. Because I've networked. Are you getting what I'm talking about? I've networked. I've not bribed people. I've networked. Networking, very important. Then the law of strategic relationship. Make strategic relations with people. Get to know that this person is working at the DCI. Don't say that you are intending to do a mistake so that he can bail you out. Somebody can be having a problem at the DCI and then he can contact you. That becomes a strategic relationship to you. You can get something. You want to go, you go alone. But if you have to go faster, go with people. Strategic relationship enables the success in any business. Then the law of extra mile, I've talked about that. Lastly is the law of passion. The law of passion. The law of passion. So, up to that moment, is there somebody with a question? Is there somebody with a question? Up to that moment. Clarification? Yes, madam. You can give her some.
I have listened keenly to all those laws. But truth be told, one single individual cannot possess all those things. I can be hardworking, but I lack the law of networking. I am not able to present myself in a way that I should so that I can be able to forge ahead. Now, where do I draw the balance? Those laws are many, and I cannot do all of them.
Yes, the laws are many and you may not be able to do all of them. That is why I started by personalizing the training to a point whereby you need to understand yourself. Understanding yourself gets you to a point whereby you know what you can and what you cannot do. But again, it depends with also your situation and your circumstance. Sometimes it might not be very, okay, it is very important, yes, but sometimes it might not be quickly rewarding having strategic relationships and networking when you are solely employed and you are getting your income and you're not having any business doing business. You understand that? So sometimes it cannot be probably matching to you. So you need to understand that what is your current situation? What is your current revenue generating program? And does it require networking or not? The good news guys is that these are things that you learn slowly by slowly. And you incorporate. There's a struggle, but you keep doing what you need to do. Someone else? Is there someone else with a clarification to make? There's a lady here. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So my question is, from the point where we are talking about uncompromising obedience to God. So, for example, I've got a job and my first income, I've got it, then I bring it to church. So should I start giving my tithe from the second income?
Yes.
And the offerings, like everything, and the government, employment, the government is taxing all these things.
Yes.
Do you do these things progressively or at once? Yeah.
When it comes to tithing, you tithe your increase. Correct? You tithe your increase. You look at how much do you get. Don't look at these other aspects of taxes and all that. How much do you get? What is the 10% of what you get? By the time, there has been a lot of discussions, which I do not want to get to. Do I tax gross income or I tax income? That is a biblical argument that I do not want to get to. You can only argue that if you do not understand the reason as to why you are giving. Go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 26, verse 1. Is there someone who can read? If you can read it with that particular microphone, can be better. Deuteronomy chapter 26, I think it's 26, verse 1. Going forward.
Deuteronomy chapter 26 verse 1, it says, when you come into the land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and you possess it and dwell in it.
Goja, wait. When you have entered the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, you have meaning ushapata, correct? Yeah. Proceed.
And you possess it and dwell in it.
Correct.
That you shall take some of the first of all the produce of the ground, which you shall bring from your land that the Lord your God is giving you, and put it into the basket and go to the place where the Lord your God
Why am I not seeing what you are reading? I thought you will project. Is the person directing this going with you? Yeah. Verse 2, continue.
Verse 2. That you shall take some of the first of all the produce of the ground, which shall bring from your land that the Lord your God is giving you,
yes,
and put it in a basket and go to the place where the Lord your God chooses to.
You are giving your tithe. You see, this guy is describing how you are giving your tithe, correct? You have taken these things and then you are in the congregation and then you want to put it in the basket. Just proceed.
Verse 3. And you shall go to the one who is priest in those days and say to him, I declare today to the Lord your God that I have come to the country which the Lord swore to our fathers. Declaring
to God that I have come from a country. You are carrying you are correct, and you are in front of the congregation and you are now saying those words. Proceed now.
Verse 4.
Yes.
Then the priest shall take the basket out of your hand
Yes.
and set it down before the altar of the Lord your God.
Uh-huh.
And you shall answer and say before the Lord your God,
He will take the basket and then he will start saying whatever you are saying now. Continue.
my father was a Syrian about to perish.
Now you start remembering. You did not have a job. My father was a Syrian who went, he risked his life to go to where? To Egypt to look for food. Read for them. You know, you people, the way you're supposed to use it. Continue. Uh-huh.
My father was a Syrian
Uh-huh.
about to perish.
Yes.
And he went down to Egypt and dwelt there.
Jacob, who was our father, a Syrian who was ready to do what? To perish, decided to risk his life to go to where? Egypt. To?
Dwelt there,
Huh?
few in number.
Yes.
And there he became a nation,
Uh-huh.
great,
Uh-huh.
mighty, and populous.
Uh-huh.
But the Egyptians mistreated us,
Uh-huh.
afflicted us,
Uh-huh.
and laid hard bondage on us.
Now, let me leave it at that because I was not preaching. I might get the spirit of preaching and it is not good now. I'm training. You are remembering how life has been with you. When you remember that, you will not argue with 10%. When you remember that, you will not argue with extra. When you remember that you were at zero, you had nothing, then God has brought something, you will not go by any calculation. Are we together? No. Hello? Are we together? I may be boring because I'm touching on that, but that is the reality. You know, you may not be able to argue with the principle that God has put across. So, are you getting the sense? Kuna mtu mwingine ako na swali?
Okay, I have
All right.
another question.
Uh,
So I was told that the first fruits, or rather the first income, you should be given to your parents. But now you have said that the first fruits is for God. So do parents come last, or how does it go?
The good thing is that you were told, but then I've gotten the principle of first fruits from the Bible. From the Bible. So is it possible we can get the aspect of giving the parents from the Bible, your first income? Is it biblical? Who has got any relations from the biblical perspective? Your first income to your parents. Me, I'm talking about your first incomes as first fruits to God. Correct? Yes. So is there somebody with a biblical principle or biblical based text saying that we should give whatever we are having in terms of the first income to our parents? The Bible, then it is maybe an advice. And an advice you are free to take or not take. It is good you take care of your parents. I'm not saying don't take care of your parents. It's good to take care of your parents. But then let them not replace God. First fruits, give God. Thereafter, help your parents. Sawa. Aya. I know I'm supposed to finish at, is it 12:30 or 12? 12:30. 10 more minutes. Correct. Yes. All right.
Is one of our online viewers who is asking a question.
Yes.
How can one avoid conflict of interest with briefcase consultancy while in employment?
Briefcase consultancy. Okay, conflict of interests with briefcase consultancy. I don't know why he calls it briefcase consultancy because he doesn't have an office. he doesn't have an office, so maybe that's why he could be calling it a brief consultancy. Or probably, let me assume this guy is working for a particular farm, and as he works for this farm, he wants to trade with the same farm because conflict of interest arises whereby you are not supposed to trade with your farm. Is that correct? Yes. That is the aspect of conflict of interest, how it comes in. So, conflict of interest, is it morally right? You are the one who knows what you want to procure as a company. You know the specifications, you know the budget, and then you go and form a briefcase company, come behind, and then you want to trade with the company. The question is, how can you, while dealing with briefcase company. Form a briefcase company, form your company, do your business out there without creating the conflict of interest with your employer. Let me tell you something, guys. And some of these things, are you aware that businesses are morally and biblically sensitive? Are you aware? If you want to know, check that business where the owner is sleeping with the employees, and you tell me the direction that business is taking. You will see a very seriously dwindling business, almost to the death of itself. Businesses are sensitive. Look at a business where the owner is stealing from the business is not growing. You get it? Even when it comes to matters tax and under declarations, stealing, it will not make the business to prosper. You must be honest and declare. Get an accountant, get to declare. Pay what you're supposed to pay. Price your items that takes care of the tax, such that when the taxes you take it on behalf of Caesar. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Do not steal the government's money. However much you may think, whatever money you steal, it is wrong. It doesn't matter who you steal it from. Now, I employed a certain guy. Now, after employing this guy, I advertised the position as a finance management systems manager that was this year. And this guy came and we did an interview and he was very good, very good. I liked him. The guy was very good. And when I get a good, even my emotions. But even if he comes, he has a problem. He wants something. Hark the voice of Jesus calling, who will go and work today. Then he forms a consultancy, similar to what I have. Then he starts now paying more attention to his own consultancy more than mine. By that time, I don't know. Then one day, he picks my car. We work with my wife in my office. And by that time, I have gone to train in Mombasa. So this guy picks my car, saying that he's going to pick my wife because we live more or less the same direction, so that he can drive my wife as they go back. And my wife knows how to drive. And that thing made me to ask my wife, so when this man is driving, so where do you sit? Yeah, I normally sit here, okay. And it's our. So, akachukua hii gari, then akaenda akagongesha. Then akigongesha, I'm being called. I was in another call, but then so many calls coming in, from the same number. So many calls. And then I hung up this one and I said, let me call back. By the time I'm hanging up, it is like almost 12 missed calls. Then I get to him and he tells me, oh boss, how are you? So I'm sorry, there's a mistake. I've done an accident with the car. I was reversing and somebody was telling me just come, and there was a vehicle that was coming and I hit it on the door, and so these people want money. I asked, how much do they want? And they told me some crazy amount there. I bargained and I paid that money so that my vehicle could be released. Then I told him, I'm going to deduct this money from your salary. So by that time he's doing this, he's already earned the salary for that month. And then this guy comes and asks me for permission to go home for a camp meeting. A camp meeting. And then he leaves. And then on the following day, I receive a resignation on a text message. I want you to know how much I was hurt. As an employer, I was hurt. Have you ever been heartbroken? Yeah? Heartbroken. This guy have really struggled to bring him to this. Then by the time this guy has gone, ndio sasa napata siri sasa kutoka kwa wafanyikazi wengine. Because this guy was running a parallel consultancy with mine. And this guy was trying to even create inroads in my company. You know what? I prayed for that guy. I said, God, may you just give him a good life as he goes ahead. But open his eyes that whatever he did to me was not very right. He started calling me a month later. that kuna huu client nilipata na kuna hii, lakini sasa nimeshindwa. Nikamwambia bana, kijana akishapiga boma yake anakaa kwake. Conflict of interest is wrong. If you want to do the same business as that of your employer, leave the employment and come and do the business with the employer. Don't do the business similar to that of the employer. It's a conflict of interest. You will not go far. Number 2, if you want to trade with your employer, leave the employment, see that as an opportunity, create a briefcase company, come and do what? Trade with that company. But don't do it while you are still there. That employer is a human being. He's not a wall. He's not some sort of an imagination. He's a person. And if you do that, you are hurting an individual. He might not be very much pleased with you. Yes. I'm having 5 minutes to go. So I think I should give you a chance to ask questions. Is when now we can talk about now money attraction, money management, and money multiplication. Correct? Correct? Should you call me another time? Do I say, should your invoice meet? I can be able to come and check on the other aspects. And so, any other clarification? You can now ask anything within those 5 minutes that you are having, so that I can be able to now leave you. We cannot learn everything today, Cindy. Yes, there's so much. Personal finance ni kubwa. Fine.
Thank you so much for the training.
Yes.
I wanted to, if you can tell me, if I save with the circle, that is the shares, is it an investment or just a saving?
Yes, when you put your money in the shares of a circle, it is 2 things in one. It is savings, and at the same time it is investments. It is savings because you can be in a position to withdraw your money, depending on the product that you're taking from that circle. If it's a circle that is practicing FOSA, that means you can be able to exercise withdrawal and depositing at any given time that you want. But when you go a step further and buy shares, you will always be earning at the end of the year. The dividends now is what brings to what we call an investment. Investments are supposed to be self-generating. You know, money is very faithful. Money generates itself and works. Whether you are there or not, whether you are asleep or awake, whether it is a holiday or it is not, it generates. So if you put it in the right place, it is very faithful. It will be able to generate money. It will be able to generate an income, even if you are asleep. Put it in a real estate, maybe rentals. It will be earning rent, whether it is on a Sabbath or it is not on a Sabbath. On a Sabbath, it will be working for you. It is you who will be resting, but the money will not be resting. So you need to know whether what you are doing is enabling you to be having money resting, or you are resting together with the money. But if you invest in a circle, it's an investment that is going to give you a dividends, and it's also exposing you to what we call capital access. There is what we call capital inclusivity. Capital inclusivity is about to what extent of ease can you be able to access money should you need the money. That is why M-Pesa brought a lot of revolutions in our economy, because M-Pesa made it very easy that you can be able to access finances at ease, compared to the times that when you had to get a loan, you had to go to bank and line there 10 days, you are still chasing for one loan. But M-Pesa, you can be able to, through the integration that the banks have done with M-Pesa, you can be able to access certain loans even at the comfort of your house. So that inclusivity has been brought about by that. So when it comes to investing, a circle is an investment that you can earn both money in dividends, and you are having access to money. In fact, let me tell you, if you don't have money, if you don't have savings, try to work on how you can create an access. You getting what I'm saying? Access. Be in a position that hauna pesa naye hauna. Lakini should you need the money, ikiwa imeumana, utapata. Create a platform of access. Correct? Yes. Any other question? Yes, sir. All right.
You can share the papers with the questions.
Thank you so much. It's not a question. I wanted to say something on the conflict of interest. I think you are a bit personal because it happened to you. I don't know whether you are aware that Parliament and the Senate passed a bill amending that state officers can work with the government, right? That means that they can comfortably trade with the government. Like, you are there and you trade with them.
Yes.
Like now, if I'm your employer or you are one,
Yes.
you can still trade with me. But I feel you, before the bill passed, that was wrong.
Give all your best to the Master. Give all the strength of your youth. Throw your souls fresh, rolling harder into the
particular law. What was the previous state? And a certain rule normally says, I really subscribe to it. Do not block the roads that were created by your ancestors. I don't know whether you heard something like that. Forefathers or ancestors existed. Particular law. What was the previous state? And a certain rule normally says, for a very good reason. I really subscribe to it. When we are still alive with you in this, do not block the roads that were created by your ancestors. I don't know whether you heard something like that. In the normal context, let's talk of private sector. Let us now not make by our rules. Normally says very good reason. I really subscribe to business with your employer, and when we are still alive with you in the by your ancestors. I don't know if you heard something like that. In the normal context, let's talk of private sector. Let us now not make by our rules. Normally very good reason. I really subscribe to business with your employer, and when we are still alive with you in the by your ancestors. I don't know if you heard something like that. In the normal context, let's having money. Private government has money. I need government. Then you start left, right, and center. You now need government. No. Every money that is made has got a secret code with it. You are either in the secret place or you are using something. Let us now not to make by our rules. Normally very good reason. I really subscribe to business with your employer. Question? Maybe one last or two last, so that I don't nisiumize watu wangu with anything or any clarification you'd want. Nimesema mambo mingi sana, si ndio? If you get an opportunity, you can be able to pick my number. I normally we have a WhatsApp group that we post some of the pieces of financial advice. And you can be able to, once you've picked this number, you just write to me a text. Say maybe I'm so and so from Northview. Is when I will be able to send you the link to join so that I approve. I normally don't want scammers to get in there. They come there and then they start doing something. So we have to really verify who is getting into the WhatsApp group. We are about 700 there. So at least you can join the community of the 700 people. It's also a platform for networking. Yeah, once upon a time you do, so that at least people can get to know. My sister there asked, you are not good at networking. Now, WhatsApp does not check whether you are good or not. You simply say that I bake cakes. If you want, you can contact me. And then WhatsApp will not check your personality. Waseme ya kwamba huyu akona personality yenye, just put there and then we'll be able to get that. So you'll use 0722 100 to 13. 0722 100 to 13. 0722 100 to 13. And I'm here also to network. I also just didn't come. I'm here to network. Your company is struggling with matters, bookkeeping, good records, tax, complicated tax issues. And this time around, kama wewe ni mtu wa biashara, lazima utatembelewa na Sakayo. I'm telling you that one now, there is no bargain about it. Watu wametembelewa, watu wengi. Na nimeona, so ukitembelewa, look for me. We can be able to sort you out and see how we can be able to do that. What we don't do is to bribe people to get what we want. But we do clean business that we can be able to do that. Another thing, you are having apartment and you are wondering, tenants keep giving you reasons, and some of your tenants are your church members. If you lock their doors, they are coming to say in church, I have a prayer item. I don't have rent, na nimefungiwa nyumba, so I'm praying that you can be able to pray for me and pray for my landlord. And the landlord is in the congregation. Pray for me and pray for the landlord so that he can be able to see that things are not easy and to treat us well. You give us that house, we will lock it for you. We will lock it for you. Ataleta prayer item kwa kanisa, akirudi anapata kifuli. Mpaka alipe nini? Pesa. So, because I was here to network, yeah, we do that. Otherwise, I think I'm very grateful. Back to you, Mr. Zachary.
Praise God once again. Praise God again. I want to thank our speaker, Mr. Isha Dunga, for such a powerful presentation. I'll ask Elder Godwin Opinde to prepare one item of a song that we shall sing, and then I'll invite Elder Zachary to come and give a vote of thanks and directives after that. Thank you so much. On the same note, there are books. CPA Dunga has given us a wonderful presentation, and to me, one thing that I've taken is that when you have been, when your boss has relieved you of your duties, then you have not lost a source of income. Yeah, if I got him clear, you have lost a resource. The source of income is God himself. That one is a message that I've taken home. So he's saying this book is 500 Kenya shillings. We can remain with these copies. It has a lot of information based actually on what he has actually presented here. So allow me to welcome Elder Godwin Opinde. We shall do one song, then I shall offer a word of prayer and welcome Elder Zachary for the final remarks. Then we shall proceed to the next program. Elder Godwin, karibu.
Okay, let's do 469, leaning on the everlasting arms.
We shall rise with song number 469.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine. Let's sing together.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine,
Leaning on the everlasting arm. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine. Leaning on the everlasting arm. Oh yes, on leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning on the everlasting arms.
how sweet to walk in this pilgrim way, leaning on the everlasting arm. Oh, how bright the path grows from day to day, leaning on the everlasting arm. Yes, I'm leaning, safe and secure from all alarms, leaning on the everlasting arm. What have I to dread? What have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arm. I have blessed peace with my Lord so near, leaning on the everlasting arm. Oh yes, I'm leaning, safe and secure from all alarm. Oh yes, I'm leaning on the everlasting arms.
Shall we bow for a word of prayer? Father in heaven, once again we come before you with great thanksgiving in our hearts. For when we look around us, dear Father, we see all that is in our possessions and honor unto you. We thank you so much for the stewardship week that has been, our speakers that we had throughout the week. Elder Mosoti, wherever he is, dear Father, we pray that you may continue blessing him even more. And we thank you for our speaker for today, Isha Dunga, for such a wonderful presentation. Father, we pray that you continue uplifting him up wherever he is, in his company and those that depend on that company, dear Father. Above all, continue uplifting our souls. Open for us more opportunities, dear Father, that we may continue to be faithful in your service. In that which our hands are found to do, dear Father, teach us to be faithful givers, and teach us always to look unto you for our sources. You have told us through his teachings that you are the source, and when we lose our jobs, we are not losing our sources of income, but we are losing our resources of income. Dear Father, at this point in time, as we shall be breaking out of this place, dear Father, may you go with each and every one of us. Those of us, dear Father, as a church who have been bereaved, dear Father, may you provide comfort that only comes from above. And as we continue with the plans as a church and at individual levels, dear Father, with the same, may your presence never depart from us. We thank you for Jesus' holy name. Amen. At this point in time, allow me to welcome Elder Zachary, who will take us to the next program. Karibu, Elder.
Thank you very much for your patience. How many are blessed? Let me see if it was a waste of time. Oh, thank you, thank you. May God bless you, Brother Isha. I know you had given me a warning that I didn't take much. I think I didn't heed it. He had told me it's only time that was going to be less. And I think that has been my testimony this morning. And I want may not meet the threshold as per separate discussion, but I know because of your mission of making kingdom millionaires for a church, it's never an invoice, it's a service. And I want really to thank you for that, because if it was a corporate setup, we will never afford to have him here, because the fees that are charged are different. But then for the sake of the love of God and making millionaires for his kingdom, we have been blessed to have him here today. And I want to thank all of you who've been able to make it. My brother, and I know after this, you have the energy. We'll be able to go to the other program of consoling with our friends. I know there's a program at 2:30. I don't know if, Elder, you want to make an emphasis or it's okay? Yeah, after this, we have the energy. You don't have to go home. Actually, we can go home from here and go visit our brothers. May God bless you so much. And I hope, Brother Isha, this is the beginning of a journey with our church. If they tell me they want it to continue, I will seek their feedback on the side. Hapa leo wanaweza sema sababu huko kando ya tent nitatafuta feedback and we can be able to invite you again. God bless you so much and may you continue to doing the good job you're doing for the kingdom. So in case you sent me money and you want the book, just send me and then we can come pick it from me. God bless you so much. Let's rise up for the words of grace. Kindly, usiende kabla kupitia huko. Maji nimepigwa. Itarudi wapi? Hakuna mahali inarudi. Kindly, let's say the words of grace. And now, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now.